Hello and welcome to episode 113 of In PS We Trust, a PlayStation podcast. My name's Davey and joined with me, as always, is the fine wine himself, Mr. Philippoi.
Arigato gozaimasu.
And my little squire boy, my little stable boy. How's it going, Spence? You good?
What up, pussies? Yeah, I'm sound. How's everyone else?
Good, mate. Good.
Good.
Do you know what? It is lush to be the three of us together again. You know, it's been nice to do an episode with Spence last time, and it was fun. We had a good laugh. Great episode, if I do say so myself. But there's something missing. There was a piece missing, and you were proper away, Phil. Not even like slightly away, like in France or something. You were in a completely different side of the world. You were, I don't know if you're in the Far East, in the land of the rising sun. In Japan. So did you have a lovely time here? How was your holiday?
I had an absolutely amazing time, and yes, it was a completely different time zone altogether. I think when you were getting up, I was going to bed, and during that period, I was sending you as many photos as I could to kind of show you all the different things that I've been doing over in Tokyo. And listening to the last show, I can tell you really enjoyed those photos coming through quite regularly.
I did, yeah. I said it all in jest. Last episode, I did take the piss and be like, well, there's just too fucking many of these. But in hindsight, I miss them now. They've stopped.
I've got more. I can keep sending.
Please. Yeah. It kind of felt like as if I'd subscribed to like your travel blog or something, you know, like on Instagram.
I'm still waiting for the subscription money.
Yeah. Well, keep the photos coming, mate, and something may happen, you know. But no, I miss it, and I'm glad you had a lovely time. Glad you had a great honeymoon. But welcome back, and audience. Maybe thinking, right, well, with the trio, the Holy Trinity combined together, what have we got in store for you today? Well, we've got a normal run of the show. Sorry. You know, it is what it is, right? We're a PlayStation podcast. We've been doing 113 episodes in at this point. It's the same kind of thing all the time. This time, though, it's full of juice. It's like I know I say it every time.
It's always full of juice.
Yeah, it is. Normally, you could say I'd say it's a juicer, right? And a juicer doesn't really let you know how much juice we're talking. Here is not just like a fruit that's extra ripe and juicy. This is like the whole goddamn tree.
That's crazy, bro. Bro, transparency's sake, yeah, I'm looking at this dock. It's the most bog standard dock I've ever seen in my life. That's crazy.
It is. It actually is. We had to kind of scramble. I'm glad that one of you guys has found a topic, because when I put the dot together, I was like, we got no fucking topic today.
But listeners, please keep, listening to the end of the show. The topic is well worth a listen.
Yeah.
The juice isn't the news. We provide that juice.
Yeah.
With our juicy selves.
Nice.
Good save, Spence. You're on good form today. You are. Already.
Sweating, mate.
Boiling. We are in the middle. I suppose just preface this audience before we begin with what is the normal run of the show in terms of starting off with a hypothetical question, moving it into what we've been playing, move on to the quick news, and then end on a topic. We do have to preface that it is fucking boiling in the UK. This week is probably the only week of the year that we're going to have good weather. And that's really annoying because it's been like 26 degrees today in fucking April.
It's 29, it peaked, mate.
29. 1st of May, kicking off May really, really well on a 29 degree. What the hell? And you bet when we get to download, Phil, it's going to fucking chuck it down.
Well, it always does, doesn't it? Last year, it was terrible weather, and it's only going to continue.
Yeah, they set the precedent now. But, audience, you may notice the audio quality might not be as good as it normally is. You know, we got to have fans going and doors open, windows open, that kind of thing. I hope you'll forgive us for that. One thing I will not forgive you for, though, audience, is if you don't put a fucking rating on this episode. If by the time you get to quick news and you've enjoyed yourself and you think, do you know what? I've just realised I haven't put a rating on. Do it. Otherwise, judge. I will be judging. And you won't know, but I got the analytics. I can figure out where you are. And I can judge you. I can send enough bad omens out into the world that something will happen to you. It might be that, a bird just shits on your car. It could be that there's extra sap coming from the tree, which is then just smearing all over your windscreen, and you try and clean it off with the the water jet washers and it just smears even more, like what's happening to me in real life at the moment from my fucking tree outside. Could be anything like that. And then in the back of your mind, you'll be thinking, God, maybe I should have put that rating on because maybe this is the universe telling me that I've done fucked up here.
I want to know what podcast you haven't subscribed to then, if those things are happening to you.
Oh, yeah, so true.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a couple. There's a couple, to be fair. So maybe this is it. Maybe what I need to do is go in and put a rating on and learn from my past mistakes, and maybe my life will start improving a little bit. Maybe. Only one way to find out in there. Do it.
Hit that subscribe.
So, moving on then, guys. Question. There's one question that's been absolutely tearing Twitter and the internet at large apart. And it's one that, audience, if you don't know about this, I don't know what you've been doing with your time. This is 100 men unarmed in a fight versus one silverback gorilla. Who's coming out the victor on this? So I'll set the stage, because a lot of these things, they've put like AI models in place and things like that to be able to try and simulate what's going on. We'll just say that you're in a kind of flat plane. So it's flat. There's nothing you can use. Humans can't use weapons. It's just, we are the weapon. And there's 100 of us versus one gorilla. That gorilla will not quit. He wants to fight. The humans on the same side will not quit. So there's not going to be any running away or hiding or scaring them. It's going to be, they're both wanting to go at it with each other. What do you reckon, Spence? 100 men, one gorilla.
Straight to me. Fuck's sake. I think it depends on the random pool, I think. Because 100 men, they're coming out of somewhere, right? It's got to be 100 random.
Yeah, so I reckon, because I think that's a really good line of thought you're going down. I reckon you've got like a subset of everyone. So say, for example, 5% of the population of fatties, like morbidly obese. You've got 5 morbidly obese people in there. Say 1% are absolutely jacked, absolute mutants, like strong men. You've got one of them in there. And then the vast majority, though, are just your average men.
Okay. But the way this random pool works means we also get a random gorilla. That gorilla might be nearing its end. Anyway, it could have one leg or one arm. It could be blind. It could have no hearing.
I think for the gorilla's sake, because it's just one, we can't put like a no legs gorilla in there. I reckon this is like, this gorilla's just
a disabled gorilla going in against 100 men.
A blind, he's blind as well, deaf. I reckon he's just your average silverback gorilla. So he's, he's not fucked up or anything like that.
Oh, then the gorilla wins, man. What do you want from me? I feel like no matter how many men you throw, well, there's got to be a number. There has to be a number. But I don't think it's 100. I think the number's got to be higher. I don't know how tired gorillas get. I don't know, because animals seem to like, you take your dog on a walk, they're running all fucking day. I don't know what the stamina of a gorilla's like, but they have the strength to beat 100 men easy, I think. They could literally just tear your head off and then be like, next. It's like Soup coming down and everyone lining up for him. What are you going to do?
So you're saying the gorilla just clean sweeps it?
I think even if it was like 100 big blokes, I think the gorilla still sweeps.
See, I'll save my thought. Phil, let's come across to yourself, because then I think then this might free up the conversation a little bit to really start picking at things a little bit more. But over to yourself, Mr. Toy, what are you thinking?
Sure, well, I've gone away, and you know me, lads, I like to do my research. So I did a bit of reading on silverback gorillas, and do you know why they're called silverback gorillas? Let me ask you that.
Because they got silver hair on the back of them?
No,
they got
sir.
fucking armor.
No, sir. They're called silverbacks because generally gorillas live in troops, and the leader is called the silverbacks. That identifies the hierarchy within the gorilla troop, if you like. And generally, I would say most of the time, it is a male gorilla as well. So gorillas are herbivores, and they inhabit the tropical forests of Africa. Okay? So when we're talking about a level playing field, we've probably shipped that gorilla away from Africa to somewhere else. So he's somewhere new, and we're somewhere new when we're fighting. Just to give you some perspective on that gorilla, Spence, because you made up your mind very, very quickly. The largest living primates, okay, so they are 1.25 meters tall up to 8 meters tall. Okay, so they can be pretty damn tall, and they can weigh anywhere in between 100 kilograms all the way up to 270 kilograms. Okay, and they tend to live 35 to 40 years in the wild. Okay, so if we're taking all of those facts into consideration, and I am with my decision, I think the men win. I think 100 men is too many men. Too many men. 100 men that need to kill this gorilla because they have the intent to do something. 100 people. Do you know how many people 100 people is? It's 100 people. And I've just come back from Tokyo in Japan, and it is vastly crowded. And we're talking about 100 of those motherfuckers coming at a gorilla. Yes, I think they will kill a silverback gorilla 100%.
Spence, it looks like as if you want to jump in on this, so go for it, pal.
I don't know. I just don't know how strong it is, man. I feel like a gorilla could just rip you in half. And also I feel like 100 randomly plucked humans, all from, so they have to fit each quota, you said, Davey.
Yeah.
So the issue is
so you got like one midget in there. You got one midget. You got like...
Is that 1% of the popularity is a midget, is it?
Yeah, I don't... See, this is the thing. I don't know what the percentage split is.
Population. Excuse
like,
me.
Obesity, you know, like, probably 5-10% probably would be, like, proper fat. You know that there's going to be about them, like the heavy gang. But the rest of them, I don't know how many, like, midgets there are. I don't know how many, like, really small people there are, how many freakishly large people there are. I don't know what that split is.
But regardless of their body type and, you know, their height, their weight, regardless of, you know, their background, their education, because we're taking, you know, a spread of the demographic across the world, they want to kill this gorilla. They have to kill this gorilla. And 100 people wanting to do one thing at one time, I think is going to happen. Spencer, I think you might be looking at it as if the gorilla is lining them up and going, come on, 1 versus 1. 1 versus 1, 1 versus 1. And yes, if it was set up like that, I'd agree with you. The gorilla probably could work his way through 100 people one by one. But this is 100 people at once attacking one thing.
I think they get in each other's way. I think the humans, for one, if they're just randomly plucked and they're all from different camps, so you've got a midget, Down syndrome, a bunch of goths, you got a bunch of gay people, you got a lot of not fighters, I think, in there, for one, who
gay
just...
people can fight.
Yeah, and goths can fight.
What?
Goths has got those bracelets, mate.
Yeah.
I feel like they won't. I feel like there's also going to be groups of people that hate each other and would rather just push the other group into the gorilla so that they could die. Yeah, I feel like there'd be betrayal among because it's always humans are complicated and awful people. I feel like there'd be hidden agendas. Be like, fuck, that guy. Funnily enough, I know we got plucked out of thin air. He fucking bullied me in school. Push him into the fucking gorilla. You never know. And there might just be like one guy's a massive racist and he's trying to throw all the foreign people into the gorilla. You don't know what people's agendas are like. They're not coming in forgetting about their whole upbringing and being like, I need to kill this gorilla. They just teleported there and think, what the fuck?
I imagine it's one of those things where, you know, so they got the right incentive to fight. It's either like, it's the winner of this, like whoever loses, your species is gone. So they're fighting for everyone. Or they're like, we have your families. If you don't do it, they're going to die. So they're like, we have to fucking nail it. Like, I don't think there's any in my scenario or in this scenario, I don't think there's a chance that the humans are like, nah, you know, I quite like gorillas, you know, or anything. Like, there's not going to be one guy who's like, oh, I fucking love gorillas. I don't want to hurt it. You know, he's like, oh, I'm going to fucking fuck this thing up.
I think no matter what, I guarantee at least 20% or 30% of the amount of people hear all that and they're like, oh fuck, so I have to do this, are still too scared to get in there because that's a fucking gorilla. I wouldn't charge a fucking gorilla. I at least wouldn't be on the front line, mate. I'd be like 7 rows back. I don't know. I feel like there's more to it.
So even if you are 7 rows back, you're still in the mix, though, man. So you can lay a couple of kicks in, you can lay a couple of punches in. But what we're saying is that if, for example, in your scenario, the bully pushes, you know, the person he's bullying to the front and that person dies, then there's only 99 people attacking that gorilla. If I was the bully, I'd want everyone to be united, to to be able to overcome this hurdle. And they have to do this. They can't back out.
Yeah, but you aren't the bully, mate. You don't know what people are thinking.
I've been.
I feel like I've watched enough like
I have
reality stuff. Enough like Squid Game. People always got hidden agendas. No matter, even if there's an ultimate goal that you need that will save your life or fix your life, people always get led astray along the way. You know.
I think it's a fair point. I think it's a fair one, and I side directly with Phil on this 100%. 100% I do, and I don't think it would take 100 people either to do it. And I saw something, right, and this is why it got in the doc straight away as soon as I saw this. It was this fucking biologist, right? Like, I suppose, yes, granted, they know much more than I do, right? But he was stating about all the facts of gorillas, about like how strong this skeleton is, 2.5 times stronger than a man's. Their lifting potential, they can lift 1,000 pounds. They can do all this, they can do all that. You wouldn't be able to hit them hard enough to hurt them, blah, 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 blah. All this. And I'm like, right. If we were just going up and like just throwing punches at it, 100 people doing it is going to do something, right? Like, no matter how big something is, 100 people doing it would do that. But I would just make sure that there's a fucking plan, because we're smart. So all I'd do is I'd get my heavy gang and I'd be like, it's up to you, basically, right? Like, a gorilla can like lift 1,000 pounds, right? That's what it can lift as like a max level. So if you've got a couple of like 350 pounders in your group, just like for 2 people, right, that are like morbidly obese fat guys, let alone like the big tank bruiser bodybuilder guy who's like, you know, getting on like 250, 260 pounds, a group of those, you're like, right, we need a vanguard to go in and basically you're going to die. Right, those guys, they're going to die, but they're like, it's for the greater good. You know, our families will live, so we're fine with this. So they go in, right, as like the kind of piercing arrow to start. So their whole job is just to try to do your best. Good luck, lads. And then you have the heavy gang are like the fucking cavalry, and they're coming up behind, and then you get the rest coming from the sides. And the idea is that the heavy gang jumps on the gorilla, and with people, you just pile on top of it. It's game over from that. We get crushed. But if it is there trapped underneath like all the heavies, one dude just comes up and it's like trapped, just like there. Just fucking hand through the fucking eye. Game over. Game over, man.
Only weakness.
It is a mega weakness, dude. Like, what the fuck's it gonna do? Like, on the picture, this biologist, like, you can't. Its skin is impenetrable. It's like, I'm not going for the skin. Like, what fucking mug goes for the skin? You go straight through that, and it's like
straight through him.
Their fucking eyes, like their eye socket is massive compared to ours, and their brain's there. So it's just like you're in. Like, I mean, it's fucking game over. All you need, I reckon, is about 30 people for this max, and you just literally their job is just to fucking weigh it down. And as soon as it's down on the ground, it's GG's. It ain't getting up. Even if it's like trying to, that amount of weight on you, if you're thinking the average weight of a person is 190 pounds, something like that, I think. I could be underselling that. It might be actually a little bit less. It might be 170. But say it is, right? Say it's like 170 pounds. You're talking like fucking 40 blokes weighing 170 pounds. That's more than it can lift. It can't do fuck about that.
Yeah, but there's not enough room for 40 blokes weighing that
Or,
much. If anything, you're just crushing each
bro.
other. You're just crushing each other.
Who cares? You've got to do it for everyone else, man. Like this is a us or them scenario in this, and so they just sacrifice themselves. The guy on the bottom sucks. Yeah, you're dead. You're fucking totally dead. But it's what it is. It's for our species survival, right? To prove that this is a thing, and you just stack them on top, and then just one guy straight in, dead. Like, that's all it takes. If you could just immobilize it, one man with a fucking finger's got this game over. Like, no matter what animal you are, well, unless you're like a shark, I suppose, where they got like a fucking thing that covers their eye to stop that attack, right? They've evolved past the thumb in the eye. but the fucking gorillas haven't. So they're just fucking get it straight in there. And it's fucking GG's, bro. They're dead from that. If they weren't dead from the crushing.
Imagine, Spence, 100 people walking to... Say you were the gorilla, right? You're there beating your chest. You're ready for the fight. And you see 100 people charging towards you. You're not going to be a little bit intimidated by that, are you?
If I'm a gorilla, absolutely fucking not.
So you're just running into 100 people.
I think a gorilla
trying
is
to kill you.
faster than us, because they are. I think they're stronger than us, because I'm sure that 1,000 pound is probably what, their arm strength. How are your legs stronger than your arms?
It's just their lifting strength. I don't know how they measured it. I don't know if they gave him a dumbbell. I don't know what they did.
I'm sure a monkey could start doing some curls.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
They're smart enough, mate. And then freaking, all I'd do, if I was the gorilla, I'd run in, grab one, and just drag snap next.
Yeah, but then you think all that's happening at that point is everyone's just jumping on.
What if he just grabs like some lanky skinny person and just starts flailing? You try jump at him, he's got a baseball bat that's just a bloke. Bang!
But there's like all these other people around. If it was like 20 guys, I think, yeah, you're probably right. Like, Gorilla's going to fucking solo through it because there's not enough there to mob. But when you're talking 100, so many, like, you can't defend. I was only saying on the podcast last time, I got beaten up by like 3 people or whatever, and like, you can't defend. This is 100 people. Like, that's a lot of fucking men, you know? Even, and, you know, the dwarf could be the secret weapon here. You could, you know, go through, whittle through everyone and get in. But my plan is basically reliant on, I need a heavy gang. I need, like, some fatties. Otherwise, it's more human life that I'm wasting in this, whereas they could just be morbidly obese.
The 100 men aren't all going to make it out, Spence. I think there always is going to be some casualties, right? And you don't want to be the one out of those 100 people that turns up in the shirt that has bananas covered it, right? So we were looking at some funny shirts to wear to download, weren't we? And you sent it over, and I could not stop laughing at this shirt from Temu that basically just had AI printed bananas on the shirt. So I wouldn't be wearing that to this fight, okay? I'd probably be the one standing back a little bit, waiting for the heavy crew to go in and start, you know, engaging the gorilla. But ultimately, I'd be helping out Spence. And I really think, ultimately, 100 people trying to do one thing, it's only a gorilla, mate. Only one gorilla.
Yeah. I was thinking, me and Karen were having this discussion because I had this discussion with her first, as I always do. And I was like, look, there's hardly any animals that would be able to stand up to 100 people. And I was like, the only one that I reckon could would be like an elephant. 100 people wouldn't weigh as much as an elephant, and they bash each other all the time. So I think it's game over against an elephant. But a monkey being like, even if he's double the weight of a person, he's not like gargantuan. He's big and they're massive, and yeah, they'd fuck. Yeah, I'm not saying I could fucking go in and fight one. Like, no fucking way. But it's not like as if there's such a huge size difference that 100 men throwing themselves at it is going to be like ants being on a person, you know? It's not like that with an elephant.
Maybe a rhino, maybe a hippo. I think both of those are pretty...
Any of those large kind of animals, armored skin creatures, it's ropes.
Yeah. A gorilla, you could get your arms around his neck, couldn't you? One person hold him as Davey's poking him in the eye. The dwarf is round, poking him in the, the backside.
Going for the balls.
For the balls.
Fucking speed bagging him.
Yeah. You get fucked up from that.
Oh yeah, he's got fucking massive Yeah, actually, I'm on your side. He's got big dangly
rip
balls.
Him off.
Just speed bag him, bro.
Don't rip
him off. You want to just straight bag him, so he's constantly just like...
Yeah.
What's that? Then you get the eyes.
If you just rip him off, like if you just literally just ripped his balls off, he'll just bleed out in a few minutes.
Yeah.
Like, that's all it takes, really. Like, go in for like, oh, I'm going to punch him in the fucking chest. Yeah, good one. Like, what the fuck's that? Nothing. That's going to do nothing, bro. You just break your hand. Like, oh, fuck. But balls or eyes, GG's.
I think if it's a male gorilla, I think the 100 men win. If it's female, I think they don't.
If it was a female gorilla, she's going to get fucking wrecked. She'll get ragdolled fast. I mean, I don't know what the size difference is, but it's going to be quite substantial between a male and a female gorilla. Give me a Google on that. I reckon she just gets fucking blasted.
How big is a female silverback?
Also, one of the facts I read out earlier, 35 to 40 years in the wild, so we live a lot longer. Maybe we could just wait it out.
Yeah, for years.
Play the really long game. You'd only have to be playing it for, 40 years and a day? And then you could collect your money and save your family.
The end. Yeah,
the end. Yeah. A female silverback is apparently only between 4'1" and 4'11".
Yeah, she's getting fucking wrecked, bro. You
And
just
they
go in and
weigh
just start
150
uppercutting her.
to 250 pounds.
Oh, she's lighter than me. Just go in and just fucking just nut her out. Yeah, she's getting fucked one-on-one on that. I'd take those odds. But yeah, she's just getting fucking wrecked. If they just chucked her in, it's fucking... That's going to be a cakewalk. Don't even need the heavy, gang. I'll be like, you boys just fucking chat. You got monkey to eat in a minute.
Watch
Yeah.
this.
Just nutting her around. Just lifting her up. Give her the bane, bro.
With your banana shirt on.
With the banana
hell
shirt.
yeah.
So she knows to come over.
Show her who daddy is.
I'll tell you what, you've swayed me, boys. You swayed me, 100 men.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Audience, I'd love to know your thoughts on this. Have we swayed any of your minds? Were you so thinking that you're Team Gorilla and now you're on Team Man? Let us know. Write into the email, pswetrust@gmail.com, or hit us up on the socials. All are in the description of the show. Now let's move it on to what we've been playing.
This time on NPS We Trust, what have the boys been playing?
So guys, it's been 2 weeks since the last podcast episode, and I'm desperate to know what you've been up to in that time. Mr. Philippoy, I'm actually going to come across to you because you've been away for, 4+ weeks. What have you been up to, my dude?
Yeah, it's been a while, hasn't it? So I only sat down on my PlayStation, what was it? I think it was Tuesday night, because I had the TV to myself, and I thought, what better place to pick things up on PlayStation than with a game that I sort of left behind a while back called Dead Space, guys. I've spent some time and I've done a full chapter in Dead Space, and that is chapter 6, the environmental hazard. Okay, so I've copied out the synopsis from Wikipedia for you guys to read as a little bit of a story to bring your mind back, because it's been a long time since you guys have played Dead Space, and probably some of our listeners, some of our viewers wouldn't have played it in some time. So I want to remind you of exactly what horrors that I'm encountering in environmental hazard. Okay, so Isaac goes to the hydroponics in the attempt to fix the air quality issues on the Ishimura. Okay, Isaac learns from Dr. Elizabeth Cross that the source of the contamination is a series of wheezers. They are mutated crew members releasing noxious gas. To cleanse the air, Isaac must navigate the infected hydroponics lab and locate all the enemies, and eliminate all 7 wheezers scattered across the deck. After killing the wheezers, Isaac resets the air conditioning system on the control panel, opening the door to the food storage. And guess what's in the food storage, guys? He discovers a colossal, grotesque Leviathan within the food storage area, which was responsible for poisoning the gas originally. So that's where I'm at, and I've just killed the Leviathan, and I'm on to chapter 7, Into the Void.
Hell yeah.
Mate, is it that chapter that you find the Force gun?
Yes.
Dude.
And it absolutely fucks.
It's class, isn't it?
It is what I didn't expect it. It was one of those moments when I picked it up. Like, I walked out, because it always happens in Dead Space. You clear a room, you walk into the next room, and then you go back for whatever reason, and then there's more of them. They always jump out on you, right? And I kind of panicked because I hadn't reset my guns. Okay, I'm chapter 6, and I'm still not reloading after every encounter. My fault. And I panicked, and I pressed left, and the Force gun come up, and it just went and eliminated that enemy in one shot. I was like, okay, that's where we're at. Brilliant.
Dude, I remember the first time I used it, it was in hydroponics. And I was up on there's a part where you like go up, I think it's like on a lift, and then you're up on like a walkway, and one jumped down, and I was like, let's see what this Force gun does in this game, because every game going to be slightly different. And it just went boom, and it just stripped all the skin from him, and he's just skeleton. I was like, oh fuck, this is class.
Yeah,
I loved it. I fucking loved it. What a great fucking gun that is.
I don't know what was more shocking, the enemy jumping out on me or what happened to the enemy when I pressed fire.
Yeah.
Because both made me jump. Because I always try and play Dead Space on extra hard, in the sense that, okay, I'm playing on medium difficulty, but I'm playing it in the dark, right? And I'm playing it on my own. I like to ramp it up slightly. And at that point, I was like quite jumpy because I knew I didn't really have a lot of ammo. And to get that gun, I think you either take out a Weezer and it's on the floor, and you pick it up, and you probably don't use it straight away. And as I said, I was in a bit of a panic, and then I got the gun, and that thing just exploded and made me jump again. It's great.
Oh, dude.
The game is delivering.
What a game.
What a game. What a game. How did you find the boss fight with Leviathan?
Frustrating, I would say. I wouldn't say it's the best boss fight, that one. In the series of boss fights that I've encountered in different games. It was quite unique in the sense that it is in 0G. So you are floating around, and it's very important to start picking up the ammo that's floating towards you, which is very, very fucking helpful in the game, right? Because if you weren't picking up that ammo that is scattered across the food storage area, you've got no chance of killing it, because it takes a lot of ammo to kill. There was a couple of times, I remember the first time I started to attack it and I died, I thought, right, I need to go and find some more ammo. So I started to go back through some of the levels to find the ammo, and I thought, oh, actually, there's probably more in the actual boss encounter. And I started using those. I started using the things that were floating around. And I think I killed it maybe within my third attempt, because there's 3 different levels to it. And each time I was getting further through it, because the first time it shoots out tentacles. The second time there's a mouth in the middle, which shoots blobs at you. And then the third time it all combines, where you just have to just shoot a butt ton of ammo into the eye in the center.
Yeah, I remember just using the fuel canisters that are around. That's what I used as well. Throwing them in like fucking no one's business, and that doing quite a bit of damage to the fucker. But yeah, an interesting fight. A good change on that one from how it's done originally, because there wasn't the movement in 0G and stuff like there is on this. That was like Dead Space 2. So it was a different kind of fight. It wasn't much different, but it was different enough that I really appreciated the changes that they made to this. Better to come. Better bosses to come.
Yeah, see, I haven't played the original, so I don't know where this has come from, but in its current state, I wasn't overly impressed with that boss fight, really. It was just a bit stock, but just frustrating, because initially I didn't understand there was enough ammo there, so that's a fault on me more than anything. But the boss fight really wasn't that interesting. You know, there's pretty obvious things to shoot. It is very much like the game that cannot be mentioned, which can be mentioned at this point in the game, which the parts you got to shoot just glow.
Yeah.
It's like, shoot me, shoot me, shoot me.
I don't know if you agree with this, Spence, but the bosses in Dead Space, especially the original, were definitely like the low point of the game, other than the asteroid defense sections on the turrets, which fortunately are changed for remake when you get to that. But yeah, they weren't great, especially like the end boss. Obviously, we're not going to spoil it now, but the end boss fucking sucked. It was so
gash.
bad.
Yeah, the bosses. There's like a few bosses that are quite cool, like the one early on with that big elevator in the middle. You just fight him, running around.
Yeah, that was
it.
cool.
That's fine. You just slow him down, shoot him. That's good. But that's more of a teach you how to play boss, and then the rest is kind of just it's a bit naff. Dead Space 2, that's got some better bosses.
That's the step up, is it?
That's the step
I look
up,
forward
mate.
to that. But of course, I'm only on chapter 6, so there's a lot more Dead Space for me to talk about in upcoming weeks. For sure.
Nice.
Oh yeah,
nice. Well, speaking of survival horror games, Spence, has come across to yourself. I understand you've been playing a little survival horror classic.
Well, not the classic, actually. The remake of the classic, Silent Hill 2. I've been playing the remake again. I've only done maybe an extra 2 hours today, so not too much. But I'm in Brookhaven Hospital. I've cleared it all out, which took an hour and a half. And then you go into like the upside down version of it. So I'm 8.5 hours in, and I'm only at the hospital. This game is enormous. But the puzzles are fantastic. The way you have to explore, it just kind of locks you in the place, and you're forced to figure it out. Like, it doesn't hold your hand at all. And some of the puzzles make literally zero sense until you find one item, and you're like, oh,
that's cool.
There it is. And there was one. The newest puzzle I had is a number puzzle with. It's a hand you put bracelets on, and then there's a safe, but the safe is in like some code that it tells you nothing. And the hand, you find the 3 bracelets for exploring the whole hospital, put them on. You have to figure out the order in which they go on, and then the orientation, you rotate the bracelets, and then that gives you the code, and then you have to translate that code to the code on the thing.
Oh, cool.
And then it works. And you
Nice.
can't even do that puzzle until you've 100%ed everything else, because putting the bracelets on gives you the button you need to use to save. You have to explore literally everything. It's mental. And I've just been grabbed by Pyramid Head. He's chucked me through the floor. Fought a boss. The, what's it called? Flesh Lips. Killed Flesh Lips. Horrific name. And those lips are like, they're some of the most beautiful lips I've ever seen as well. I looked at him, I thought, oh. I was like, that's really well modeled. I was like, that's quite nice. But horrific boss. And then now I'm in the upside down bit and I'm too scared to progress. This game's freaking terrifying, man. It's horrific. It's very much like Dead Space, except you don't have the guider. You know, you click in your stick and it tells you where to go. That's so useful thing. It's like that, but you're just blind. And it's like, fuck me. But I am loving it. And I'm hopefully back in it now. Again, I say this a lot. Hopefully I'm sticking with it.
Well done, mate. Well done. Glad to fucking hear it. Glad to hear it. Don't know if you got any questions for young Master Spencer on Silent Hill at all, Phil?
Well, Spence, I played Silent Hill 2 back in the day, and I have now bought Silent Hill 2 for PS5, and I'm hoping to get round to it. Probably it's not going to happen before Death Stranding 2, of course, in June, because I'm still playing Dead Space, and it takes me absolutely an age to finish these games. But did you actually play the original Silent Hill 2? That was my question. And if you had, what are the sort of more noticeable differences, other than sort of obviously the obvious things such as graphics, that have changed between the two games?
So I have played the original. I played it recently. I finished it just before I started the remake. So I thought I'd like to have a reference. So me and my friends came over and we all beat it together. And that was great. Brilliant fucking game. I think Silent Hill 1 is better than Silent Hill 2. But, you know.
Controversial.
Silent Hill 1, I fucking adored. I really loved. The Silent Hill 2 original, again, brilliant. Thought it was a bit of a step down, but really good. The remake, in comparison to the original, fuck me, mate. It's like you're playing something else. It's just like a different game. The way it handles is way better. Every single environment you enter, so the apartments, the school, the hospital, way more fleshed out with way more puzzles, more enemies. I beat Silent Hill 2, I think, in 7 hours, and I'm 8.5 hours in now, and I'm only at the hospital.
Wow.
It's
a big old game.
Mental. It's massive. And then it goes in the upside down, and you're like, fuck me. You got to explore the whole gaff again, but now it's a bit different. It's fucking frustrating. But it's gorgeous. Like you said, graphically, it is gorgeous.
Yeah.
A bit choppy sometimes. Sometimes, like, it's not frame rate, it's like a stutter.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why, and it just randomly happens. I think you can tell. I think it's like loading. But you can tell in the cutscenes it happens rarely, but it does, and it's noticeable, and it happens when you're playing, usually when you're like about to go down or upstairs. So I think it is loading the next area. So I think that is what causes it. But that's a consistent issue. But other than that, it's damn near perfect, man. It's just really, really good. And there's so much to it. I know you boys have a lot to play before it, but I can't recommend it enough.
Mate, I can't wait. I can't wait to do it. I don't know what's going to get me back into the survival horror mindset, but I've got a feeling it's probably going to be Silent Hill 2.
It's really good.
And yeah, I'm really looking forward to finding a bit of time and getting in. The problem is that for actually, I know exactly what's going to get me into survival horror landscape, so I've already pre-ordered it. Midnight Walk comes out next week.
Oh.
So yeah, that's going to get me in. That's going to get me in the survival horror zone. And then after that, then the problem is May is just fucking horrific because we got obviously Clair Obscur's out now. Then we got Midnight Walk. Then we got fucking Doom.
Yeah.
It's like,
jeez,
fuck me, man. Like, I don't know when I'm gonna have time for Silent Hill, unfortunately.
That's fine. But I reckon you boys get to it eventually. I wouldn't push you. There's no rush because the game's been out fucking 30 years. But
yeah.
And we both have played the original, right?
Yeah.
So we know the game ish.
Yeah. The story's like 1-to-1 exactly the same, but
Yeah.
the puzzles way different, way harder. I'd say the puzzles are a lot harder, and just
Right.
the gameplay is better, man. It's just so good.
Because that's the thing I remember about Silent Hill 2 is that I remember that the puzzles were, I wouldn't say a step down, but they were easier than 1.
That's why I prefer Silent Hill 1, because they are a step down, 100%.
But I remember the story just being like fucking really personal, whereas 1 is just a dad on a fucking rampage to find his daughter, which is also class, you know. No hate for Silent Hill stories, much better than the Resident Evil stories, that's for damn sure.
Yeah.
But is that all you've been playing, my dude?
So I have been playing one other game. Well, I've been playing something we'll talk about later because it comes in, and that'll be fun. But I've started on my Vita, Resistance Burning Skies, because you lent that to me, mate, last week, and I thought, fuck it, I'll give it a go. And you told me when you gave it to me, it's not very good, mind. That's what you said, and I've done literally the first chapter and put it down because it's not very good.
Shit.
It's really not a great game. It controls fine when you use the actual controls, but the game has shoehorned in touch controls so fucking much, and I don't understand why. So with is it the bullseye where you tag people? You have to literally touchscreen tag the fucking monster so that you get the tracking. So I just never use it because why the fuck would you? Even though it helps a lot, it really helps when you get it. But because the controls are fine, they're not great, but they're fine. You make do, and then you get a crossbow. To reload it, you got to swipe down on the thing, and if you don't swipe down all the freaking way, you got it doesn't actually do it. If you double tap the back touchscreen, you sprint. What's that? Double tapping the back to sprint is ridiculous. There's also a button for it. I think it's down on the D-pad. But again, that's not very comfortable either. Brilliant. You play as a fireman called Riley, and it's like the start of Resistance. That's what I'll give you. But that's all I fucking know because I don't really want to play anymore. But I might.
So Resistance should just stay to the consoles. I think we can all agree on that. Because when I was playing Resistance Retribution, that had some control issues as well. Resistance, stick to the consoles, please.
It's that thing, though, isn't it? Of there's just not enough buttons on a Vita. That's all it is.
There are though. I genuinely think there are. I think they could have utilized the back touchpad a bit better than just making both sides sprint to double tap because that's awful. And then just don't shoehorn in the stupid freaking touchscreen stuff. Because what am I doing? Taking my hand off in an intense gunfight situation to point at someone, and then I have to grab the stick, and by the time I'm back, they've jumped away. What the fuck?
It's ridiculous.
It's bad, man.
The thing I remember a lot about that game is that you just using your fire axe to break down doors like all the fucking time, and that's again a touchscreen if I remember right. And I mean, why I went through the whole motion of platinum in that game, I have no idea. I think I was just like, I'd already bought it for like 10 or whatever. And I was like, well, I might as well get the most out of it. I can't have a Resistance that I haven't platinumed. And so just did it. And yeah, it was, especially as I just played not long before, like the Killzone Mercenaries game, which is fucking amazing.
Good. So good.
Vita. So good. And then to go from that to Burning Skies is just like, what a fall from grace. That is terrible. Absolutely fucking terrible.
I can imagine at the time, though, a lot of people getting Burning Skies on their Vita would have probably been quite impressed with that interactivity because it was a new thing, wasn't it? To be able to do like touch motions and things like that with the Vita and with a handheld console. So to be able to do that within a game, I think it probably held some novelty at the period of time it was out. And looking at Wikipedia, that was back in 2012. But now in 2025, I can only imagine it's hugely frustrated, and basing off, like listening to you sort of talk about it, it definitely is.
It's fucking shit, man. It's just shit. Like,
None of that stuff ever ages well, does it?
Never. Don't. It's just gimmicks. That's all it is. Yeah. It's like, oh, this has a touchscreen now. We have to utilize it. It's like, why? Why? Your game isn't built around that. Just don't. Maybe. And I just checked to see if it was a launch title because if it was a launch title, I think I'd forgive it. because launch titles always try to use the new technology. This wasn't even a fucking launch title. Fuck off. Like, what the fuck? I'm gonna stick with it. I will, because when I'm over the missus's house, I got nothing else to do, so I'll stick with it. But I don't expect me coming back reporting anything good.
No. If you come out of it and give it a 6 out of 10, I reckon that's probably fair. I reckon I think if I was to looking back on it now, I'd probably go for a 5 or a 6. Like, it was
I don't think
okay.
it's getting a 6, mate.
It was fine.
It's just fine, but yeah, that axe one that you said, that one's fine. 'Cause there's a constant button next to like square on the touchscreen. That's fine. You just tap it, and that's quick axe. You can have your axe out and just use melee. You can just hit R1 to use it, or R. I think it's just called because there's only one button, and that's fine. But the touchscreen button's fine. It's quick melee, and then it's just every gun has its own gimmick, and every gimmick is shit.
Wow.
It got a 60% on Metacritic, Burning Skies. So it is a solid 6 out of 10.
Perfect 6.
Wow.
Yeah. It's too high.
There you go. Enjoy yourself, mate. Have fun with that one.
Yeah.
Well, for myself, I got quite a few games to talk through, but I'm not going to spend too long on the first one, and that is last episode I said that I was very close to the platinum on RoboCop, and I actually managed to get the platinum 2 days after we recorded the last episode in a final mission that you joined to watch the kind of the majority of the end of that. There was actually another mission after that, Spence, there was. So thank God we didn't hang around.
Yeah, thank God.
But I have got the platinum for RoboCop. Ooh, that's a platinum. Very, very enjoyable game. I really enjoyed my time with it. I think if you're a fan of RoboCop, as I said before, you'd have extra love and appreciation for it. But in terms of a first-person shooter, it does everything it needs to do. And it's got loads of charm, great OST, and loads of RoboCop throwbacks. So I'm going to give it a solid 7.5 out of 10.
Decent.
Not bad.
Not bad.
Really enjoyable platinum too. Really, really enjoyable. The next game on my list, and one that I will talk a little bit on, is Bloom and Rage Tape 2. So it came out, and I already said before that I'd invested so much time in that first tape that I needed to see Tape 2 through. I went in, my expectations set, very middling. And I'm glad to say it was actually pretty good.
Never.
Yeah. It actually wasn't too
No.
bad.
I thought, no way.
Yeah, honestly, it wasn't too bad. It was much better than Tape 1. And I think I'd figured out a couple of reasons why. But I'm not saying it was good by any stretch, right? I've got issues with it galore. Issues at the fucking wazoo. But the one thing that was better was the pacing. The pacing felt a lot better. And it seemed like as if the first tape is very much a case of it's the same thing all the time. You know, you go around, you're taping stuff, taping your mates, dialogue choices, done. Nothing else to it. Tape 2, there was gameplay variety. There was like different moments where like you're sneaking through something and you've got to like move and there's somebody moving above you and you're kind of moving into the shadows. They tried a few different things with it, and I really appreciated that spicing it up. But more so, the first tape ends, and I spoiled it before, so I'm going to spoil it again. If you don't want to know about Tape 1 of Bloom and Rage, fast forward a minute, probably from now. I'll give you 5 seconds to do it. The big reveal in Tape 1 is that one of the characters, one of the girls you're with, has got leukemia. She's got cancer, right? And that's the big mic drop moment at the end. And it didn't work for me. I didn't really give 2 fucks, to be honest. I was kind of like so done. I was like...
Heartless bastard, you.
I was like, right, is that... I was like, where the fuck's this come from? And I was like, oh, okay, we're just ending here with, oh, she's got leukemia. Fuck. She's kind of fucked. But okay, all right. Tape 2 picks up, and it just addresses it and kind of dives into that straight away. And it actually is really effective in actually making that kind of hit home. And I felt a lot more... I felt like a closer, deeper level connection to this character than I didn't on the first tape. And I think if the game had just been an entire package, it probably would have worked. But seeing it and then stopping on that point when I didn't give kind of 2 shits about it, I was kind of done. I think it kind of worked against it a little bit. Whereas T2 then kind of massaged that through and actually made it work. Like you have moments where you like can cut her hair and things like that. Where she's like losing her hair because of chemo and things like that. And it becomes quite heavy, but it works. They kind of pulled it off. They really, really did. The thing that this whole game didn't get right is this whole mystical element. So in all of, in like Life is Strange or anything like that, there's always like some kind of power set or something that the person has or something mysterious, supernatural that's kind of getting things going. In this, in Bloom and Rage, it's a void that they're looking into. And they're throwing things in the void and like making wishes and stuff like that. And you kind of think, I don't know what this void is. I don't really know kind of what's going on. And it never really goes anywhere across tape 2 either. Like, it doesn't really... I know nothing about the void. I don't know what it does. Nothing like that. And the worst thing is, it sets up at the end for a cliffhanger where you go to the void when you're older. It's still there. It's reappeared somehow. And you go there, and the person... I'm spoiling it, by the way. This is full spoiler for tape 2. Sorry. Or... You go there, and they're like, oh, that girl who died of... who had leukemia, who's probably dead by now. It's like 20 years later. You can hear a voice come out of the void. Maybe she's in the void. And your character jumps into the void. Cool. They're never going to make a fucking tape 3. They're never going to. They're never going to. Never in a million years. It reviewed fucking shit. No one gives a fuck, right? So I finished it, and I will never know what happens. I will never know. And I clocked tape 2 out. Took me about 3 hours, I think, all told.
Oh, wow.
And it was quick. It didn't fuck around. It was really quite nice. Like the pace was really welcomed. Tape 2 on its own, I'll probably give a solid 7 out of 10. The entire package as a whole, 4, maybe a 5.
Wow.
It was bad. It was bad. Like tape 2 still had the same issues the first one had. Like presentation was fucked. It's got to do very little, right? It's got to look pretty, great voice acting. That kind of is most of it. But when you got like frame drops all over the place, when you got lip sync issues, when you got someone where they're speaking like mad and they're like, it just takes you right out of it. And there's just no fucking excuse for it. It's a simple game, and they just couldn't get it right. So overall, audience, don't waste your fucking time on it. It's not worth it. It's really not. Any thoughts on Bloom and Rage Tape 2 before I move on to the final thing, guys?
Got anything, mate?
We gotta ask something, haven't we?
Don't have
I'll
to.
just say, I downloaded Tape 1, played it for about 20 minutes, and immediately thought, fuck this, and uninstalled it. Thank God. By the way, I'll just never go back to it now then. That's brilliant. Because I like Don't Nod as well. But, oh, well, this one was Don't Nod, no?
Yeah, Don't Nod, yeah.
Yeah. Thank fuck. I'm just, yeah, fine. To be fair, I felt about it the whole time. I kind of felt, So I'm glad it's flopped.
Yeah. Yeah. You never know, do you? When it comes into the PS Plus library, you think, oh, well, it doesn't mean that it's necessarily going to be a bad product. We've had loads of great games like, fucking Blueprints or whatever, which is done amazing.
I could talk about that, actually. I've played that a bit, but
Oh, you actually managed to do it, did you? I haven't put the hour in as we promised we would do.
I forgot.
Save that. We'll pick that up on the next episode. Sorry, Phil. I think you got a question.
Yeah, I was just going to say, do you think if, and you obviously don't need to air this on the podcast if you have been affected by it or your family member, but leukemia obviously, hits a lot of families very hard. But could you imagine if you had some sort of experience with that and you were playing this game, you would probably be more invested in the game and you'd feel closer to the characters involved and you could probably see a little bit more from where they're coming from. Maybe that's the angle. I don't know, because it's not for the everyman. It sounds like this game.
No.
Yeah. But a bit of a hard one to just pick up and play because it deals with such a heavy topic, doesn't it?
Yeah. And I mean, like, Christ, I haven't gone through loads of things that I've emoted and kind of emotionally connected to that characters have gone through in fiction. for forever, right? Like I've never gone through, I've never had to cause revenge against somebody, but I felt like boiling hatred for characters in the past. I've, like all these things, right? That a good piece of art can connect with you on an emotional level, regardless if you've had that experience or not. I think maybe if I'd, gone through, like, family members have had cancer and things like that, but I've never had. I don't think. I don't know how much impact it would have because just the way they handle the storytelling for it just isn't very good. And I think that's ultimately where it goes wrong. Like the pacing's just abhorrent. They could have shaved like 3 hours off this game and made it a really tight, emotionally hitting story. But they didn't. They just tried to shoot in all these fucking moments where you're using the video camera, which adds nothing to the story. Like, it really doesn't. Like, I think some of the reasons why Take Two works a lot better is your camera gets taken off you for a while.
Fuck.
And as soon as that's gone, it's surprisingly how quick you move through stuff. And granted, that could be me going through and trying to videotape stuff and get trophies and shit like that. But it could well be that. But ultimately, why would you design a game where the player can fuck over their own experience? That doesn't make sense to me either. Yeah. And why would you incentivize them to go through and do all these recordings knowing that it's going to ruin the pacing of the game? That doesn't make sense either. So I think if I had been a young girl in the 90s and a mate had had leukemia, maybe I could have really had like a proper, oh my God, this is like my life story, and had like a really like, emotional impact. But it shouldn't have to take a work of fiction to rely so much on your life experience to evoke something from you. Like, you guys aren't parents, but I bet you cared about Atreus in God of War Ragnarok or something like that, right? Like,
I love Luke.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. In Death Stranding. So you don't need that. No. And I think it's just a fail of the narrative, really.
Fair.
It's a sad end to that game then.
Oh,
It's bad.
Yeah, it's gone. It won't come back. If that game comes back
from the void,
very well said, I'll be fucking amazed. It'll be a goddamn miracle.
Will you play it?
I'm already in. I'm in. I mean, I'm in too deep, bro.
We both need to know what happens, right? Because you've built it up now. We want to know about the leukemia girl trapped in the void.
Yeah, maybe she's out. Yeah,
maybe it cured her.
Maybe the void cures leukemia. Yeah. I don't know. She's in there. There's a fucking stupid. Oh my God, there's so many fucking dumb moments in that game. There's this bully, right, who's like chasing the entire game. He's going out with like the girl who's got leukemia, Kat. Her sister goes out with him, and he's like, at first he started off and I thought maybe this guy isn't so bad. Maybe he's one of those characters that he's just misunderstood, right? No.
You really vibed with the bully, did you?
No, I didn't.
You thought this guy's a cool guy. Why do they hate him?
I thought
punch, kick.
the smart bit of writing would be that you'd turn around on the bully and realize that maybe he was coming from a place of caring about, the girl who's got leukemia. Like, that would be smart writing, right? But no, he just gets worse. So he starts off and he's just like calling your character fat and stuff like that and saying like she's a dork for, video camera and shit. And starts off with that. By the end, he's fucking beating his Cat's older sister around, beating the girl who's got cancer, fucking right hooks her, I think. It just gets worse. It just gets worse. And I thought, like, this guy's just...
Is he a playable character? Or
no,
this is the computer, right? This isn't you making those choices.
No, he's just a dickhead.
Right.
He's just an absolute dickhead. And I thought, well, this guy's just gone off the fucking deep end, right? Like, this is just terrible writing. And then the girls at the end just chuck him in the void.
I knew you'd say they chuck him in the void. I knew you'd say
he's in the void. So, I mean, what's going to happen? Is the next game going to be a case that Cat pops out cancer-free and then this guy comes out?
With cancer?
Maybe he's in there just chasing her about, trying to beat her up a bit more.
Maybe, yeah. Fuck knows. Fuck knows. But yeah. Just a mad fucking experience. Sorry for anyone who... actually was invested in this because I just spoiled it all for you, but I've saved you some time. Terrible. On the complete opposite end, I am 12 hours now I believe that's what my in-game time shows. My clock on my card on the thing says 16 hours on PlayStation into Clair Obscur Expedition 33. So for those who don't know, the basic premise of this is a game where every single year this woman called the Paintress paints a number, and it's called the Grammage. And anybody who's at that age for the number disappears like a Thanos snap.
Oh, wow.
It started 67 years ago that she appeared. There was this world event called a Fracture. I still don't really know too much about that at the moment. And she appeared, and it started with 100. And then every year is counted down. And every year since her appearance, when they first realized that people were disappearing, they sent an expedition out to go out and stop the Paintress. You pick up and join Expedition 33. So this is because these people on this expedition, they are 33. They are on the Grammage. They will all disappear. So they go out to stop the Paintress, and that is the basic premise of the game. And so you are going off to stop her from doing whatever she's doing, and it is a RPG which fuses the classic style of JRPGs, which I love, like in terms of old school Final Fantasy, with then proper interactive combat elements in parrying, dodging, and like inputs when moves are happening to be able to boost their effectiveness. And lads, this is the second best game of this entire console generation, in my opinion.
Huge
mental,
claims.
man.
This is a 10 out of 10 experience.
Bloody hell.
So far, I've got not one negative thing to say about it. Not one. I literally had to push the podcast back a bit because I finished work at 5 and I was like, I'll finish this tiny area that I'm on Clair Obscur. I was like, it'll only take me half hour and I'll hit the gym. It turned out that I was finishing Act 1. I'm not going to spoil anything. For those that know the game, know what I'm on about. And it was just fucking insane. And an hour and a half later, I'm like, fuck, I haven't gone. And so now I need to get my ass into gear and go to the gym. And that's why we were late to recording it and why I was eating when we were doing our pre-show. It's fucking incredible. I cannot put it down. It's, honest to God, it's perfect. It's perfect. And it's going to be short talking about this because it's a lot easier to expand on the things that something does wrong. But when it does everything right, it's very hard to really expand on it because there is nothing that could be improved on this. It's beautiful. The voice acting is incredible. The story is sensational. And the combat system is just class. It's one of the best RPGs I've ever played in my entire life. I'm fucking so into this. It is unbelievable.
Huge claims, mate. Huge. I'm really happy for you. And when I saw it and I saw the flood of people gushing over this game on Twitter, it was kind of no surprise that you'd enjoy it and you'd pick it up and really get into it because it is a bit of you. It's you all over, right? These are the type of games you really, really enjoy. The old school Final Fantasy, but just very modern take on it. And forgive me if I'm wrong, it's built by quite a small French team, isn't it?
Yeah.
And what have they done in the past? Is this a new team? I don't know too much about them.
So this team, I think they're called Sandfall Interactive. I could be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure that's what they are. They were a core development team of 32 people, something like that. That's the core team. Obviously, then you have like QA testers that come in, and you have musicians come in, session musicians to be able to score the music, and voice actors, obviously. But yeah, core development team of 30 odd people. This is their first ever project. They were ex-Ubisoft employees.
Oh, right.
Who broke away. And it just goes to show, like, what a talented group of people who have a singular vision can achieve. And it's the same way that, and I think that's what's so impressive. I don't think it even matters in terms of, like, the game's quality. It's not like as if, oh, it looks great because it's made by 30 people. No, the game looks fucking fantastic, regardless of how many people it's made by. But I think that makes it extra impressive, is that they were able to, over a 5-year span, 30-odd people sit down and just deliver on a vision that they had and just make it the fucking best it could be. And it goes to show sometimes, I think, one of the downfalls of AAA gaming is that you can have so many different opinions in a room that you can then almost shape a project into kind of losing its own edge or losing its own kind of voice, its own creative freedom, and make it a little bit cookie cutter. And this doesn't feel like that. It borrows a lot from a lot of games in the past and then kind of reinvents those. But it just does it with such class that it's hard to describe just how special this game is. But it really is so far. I just gotta hope that the next 20-odd hours I got left stays at this level, because at the moment it is at solid 10 out of 10.
So you're telling me, Davey, that there was 30 talented developers at Ubisoft? I'm not sure I can believe that.
That's crazy.
Well, they were there, weren't they? I suppose
Yeah.
this is the thing. Maybe they got in, worked on. Maybe they worked, for all I know, they could have worked on like Black Flag or something, like the best Assassin's
Potentially.
Creed, then bounce. Right? Who knows? Who the fuck knows? Don't know the story. Maybe we should reach out to them and get one of them on the show. That'd be cool. Sandfall Interactive. They're like they were our speed before
Yeah,
they've.
I was gonna say maybe
before
I
they've
think
just-
you'd struggle now.
Yeah, now we probably would. Before, if I'd been smart about it, maybe I could have reached out to and got the hooks in early. But heyo, is what it is. That ship may have sailed. That expedition may have passed.
Woohoo.
Well, I've got this game installed. I want to get to it. Obviously, I'm going to tick other games off first with Silent Hill 2 and maybe Alan Wake 2. Fucking who knows? Do you think, you've said this is the second best game already? You're only at the end of Act 1, so it's beaten Returnal. Do you think if it keeps going the way it is, it could beat Ragnarok?
There's potential. There is potential. Yeah, there is. The combat system's
nuts.
that fucking good. Like, it's so good. And it's one of those things that every time I feel like, okay, I got the hang of it, they introduce a new mechanic. Like, the parry system is just sick. Like, so when you parry in this game, you got a really tiny window, like a few frames, I think. I think you probably got like 5-6 frames, something like that. It might be more. It might be like a 10-frame window. Feels fucking close when you're doing it. If you parry, you gain this is hard to describe. I don't want to get too in the weeds. You get rewards for doing it, right? Like you get like action points, which then means you can use like higher quality spells and things like that. So there's a real incentive for you to take that risk reward and parry. And if you dodge, it's a lot easier to do, but you don't really get anything on the back of that. You just kind of avoid damage. Anyone who dodges is a bitch. Like, I go in and just brute force my way. I'll die until I just get that parry. And then I'm like, and then it's just parry and stuff, just the most fucking addictive shit in the world. And then they chuck in, as soon as you think, oh, I'm all right with this parries, they chuck in jumps. So you got to jump things and then hit like a parry button on that. That's fucking class. And I can just see it's just building and building with all different kind of mechanics and different things that just make it an even more enjoyable combat experience. And there's nothing better than when you go into something and you think, fuck, I'm underleveled on this. I haven't even fucking hurt this thing. And you think, right, well, it's a fucking war of attrition here. I can still win. I just got to fucking not miss a parry because I die in one hit. And you're just fucking there for ages. Like this one pink blob thing. I go into this cave and it's like danger everywhere. Like, I'm way underleveled for this. I think, no, I can fucking do this. And go straight away, wipes my entire party like 5 times on the bounce. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, this thing's nuts. So I go off for a little bit, and I gain about 5 levels, which is nothing. And I was like, I'm not fucking leaving this area with that thing alive, right? I've got a 0 alive rule. Everything must die. So I go back to it. The boss fight in total took 15 minutes. 15-minute boss fight. He's only got 2 moves, this boss, right? Only 2 moves to learn. Each one's an instant death. The one's a triple parry, and the one's a double parry, I think. No, he's got another move as well. He's got an ice move, and that's just a timing parry. That's easy. And I was like, I'm not dodging a single thing. I'm going to parry the entire thing. 110 parries later, that was, for me to be able to beat that thing. And it felt fucking great. I popped off. I was on the portal playing it, because I've switched from the portal and the console. When I was at Karen's, I was like, I got to play on the portal. And that's been hard, because then I get used to the parry timing on the portal, then come home to the PlayStation. I'm like, fuck, I got to relearn this again. So that's been quite difficult to make that transition. It's been class on the portal. It's been perfect. And it's been great on the PS5. But that transition between both on my zero dodge run is proving an extra challenge. But there's something so satisfying about those parries that I just can't really put into words. It's just sublime. It really is. Must play. Absolute must play. But I'll be looking forward to giving you some more updates on that over the next couple of episodes while I go through and do everything. I don't even know what the trophy list is like. I'm that invested, I don't care. I haven't even looked. That's how deep into this I am. I don't give two fucks. I'm just doing everything. Fucking perfect game. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. We'll see if that opinion changes as time goes on. But with that, let's move it on to the quick news. Quick news.
Quick news, listeners. Welcome back to the section we like to call Quick News, because these days it is quick news. We have cut it down to pick out 2 pieces of PlayStation news from around the PlayStation Nation to present to you. But I know that Davey has switched around the rules, because I listened to the podcast when I was away. And as the new king, he has changed the rules now that we have to come up with a truth and a lie. These are the stipulations to make the quick news a little bit more entertaining. Is that the reason we do it? I don't know. After 111 episodes, I still don't know why we do all these other things. Couldn't we just read out the news like every other podcast? Yeah, maybe that's the reason you tune in to us, listeners, because we like to have a bit of fun during this section. And as I said, we need to come up with a truth and a lie. And then at the end of quick news, we question each other. I think that's how it works. Again, I've never done it before. So, David, you might need to fill me in on how this actually bloody works.
Sure. So just before you read your piece of news, you'll choose either your lie or your truth. You'll lay that out there. We then do our news. Second one, you do your other one. And then at the end, we can then have a question for each other to try and figure out, try and poke holes in the stories, see what kind of works, what doesn't. And then we can choose. Say, for example, you guess my lie and you say kind of bullshit on that one. That one's bullshit. Then that's like a negative score for me. Really, that puts me down a point. And whoever guessed that it was a lie gets a point up. At the end of that, after all 3 of us have gone, we'll see if anyone's got any points on the board, or if we're all in negatives, and shots will be awarded to whoever did the worst. Does that all make sense, guys?
No, not really, but we'll work something out at the end, and I'm sure there'll be some shots for probably all of us by the end of these 10 episodes.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll all work out. We got another 9 odd episodes to kind of really figure this rule out and kind of put it to its limits. So we'll carry on from there. Okay,
well, I'm going to come over to Spence first, because that's the way we do things on this podcast. Spencer always goes first. So, Spencer, can you give me a truth or a lie, because please don't tell me which one of that is, and your quick news?
Sure, I'll probably have to explain what this means to Davey after this, but my truth or my lie, I had my first chip in last week. Bit of a golf one. Quick news. So as always, lads and listeners, I have once again the monthly games coming to PS Plus Essential. And they are as follows. This is for the month of May. We have Ark Survival Ascended, so that's the sequel, and that's for the PS5. We have Balatro for the PS5 and PS4, which is a massive get. And we have Warhammer Bolt Gun, which I believe we all bought a little while ago for the PS5 and PS4. I think this is quite a strong month, but what do you guys think? Phil, over to you. What do you think?
Well, Spence, I've gone away and done a little research, as you may expect, and I've collated all the different Metacritic scores when it comes to these games. And I'm somewhat confused by how PlayStation are presenting these games, because in the graphic we have in the dock, Ark is the big game on PS5, and then very secondary is Balatro and Boltgun, which both outperform it in terms of Metacritic, and in my opinion are far better games. Ark Survival is an action survival game, video game developed by Studio Wildcard, and it's a remaster of the 2015 game. Okay, when I looked on Metacritic, it didn't actually have a full score for that version of Ark, but the remaster, the original that it's remastered off, that got 70%. So we can safely say this is a flat 7 out of 10 game. Okay, moving on to Boltgun, that is the boomer shooter, Warhammer 40,000, and it is a first-person shooter game published by Force Entertainment, and that got 73, and that is a very, very good game. I played it a hell of a lot on the Steam Deck, and a little fun fact for you guys, it is a sequel to the original Space Marine from 2011 on the PS3. It follows on from the protagonist's story Titus in the original mission. So that's a little fun fact for you guys. And of course, Balatro, which is the big swinging dick, it got 90% on Metacritic, okay? So this is the poker-themed roguelike deck building game published by PlayStack. So in 2025, this game has sold 5 million copies. Million copies. In addition to several other awards and nominations, Balatro won Game of the Year at the 25th Games Developer Choice Award as well. So very, very high praise for that game. And ultimately, because I've played Boltgun, that would be the one that I would pick. And I'm sure we'll all pick that one.
Wow. Well, I don't know. Davey, is he right?
No. No, he's not. I've got Boltgun.
Wow.
Boltgun is class, though. It is fucking awesome. Phil definitely did it justice there. It's great. It's really, really good fun. Plays perfectly just anywhere you want to play it, to be honest. Played it on my Portal quite a bit. Played it on the PlayStation 5. Fantastic time. Ark Survival Ascended, right? On paper, this should be a game I love. I'm quite partial to dinosaurs. I wouldn't say I'm in love with them. It's not like as if it's space or sea, which is more so my vibe. But I like a survival game. I really, really do. Pacific Drive last year being just one, but Subnautica games very, very dear to my heart. As we'll discuss later. Foreshadowing. Subtle foreshadowing. Ark, though, I booted it when we had the original version on PlayStation Plus a while ago, a number of years ago. And I could not figure out a goddamn thing. Like, I literally couldn't figure out anything. I was going around and my dude was just starving to death while I just beat up trees with my fists. Because I couldn't figure out how to make, like, an axe or fire. So I was very much a caveman, like a dumb caveman, before, like, stone tools were invented. Because I couldn't figure out how to invent them. I hit the genetic gene pool just wrong. And I wasn't the person that came up with this. I was just the guys who were just born and achieve nothing and die. Like, I didn't even do a cave painting, nothing. Couldn't figure it out. And there was all these massive dinosaurs around that other people were riding, like huge cities they built. And I'm there, I can't figure out a goddamn thing. And I died and respawned in like 5 times and just ran out of food or thirst real fast. And just died. So I'm not really too interested in that. Balatro, though, hell yeah. I mean, I had this already because me and Spence game share, so I already had this. And I watched a good couple of runs, I think, that you were screen sharing to me before, Spence. And it didn't make an awful lot of sense, I'm not going to lie. In fact, it made no sense whatsoever.
Yeah.
But it looked fun. And I think, high praise from yourself and from Lewis, who are both deeply invested in this game, that's got to be the standout for me. That's the one that, out of all these, that's the one I'd play.
Fair enough, mate. Fair enough. And you'd be fucking right with that. Boltgun and Ark. Boltgun, I played for a bit. I didn't enjoy it as much as you guys, but I saw it was a good game. There was other games to play, so I didn't put time in. I'm not that fussed with Boltgun, but I think it's great for the people who will enjoy it, because it is a very fun game. Ark, I fucking hate those games. Can't stand them. The only good one I played was, I think, The Forest with you, Davey. And I loved that. But that was more because we were playing it rather than the game itself. So Ark can fuck off. Balatro, I've got 70 hours on the PS5 and about 40 on my phone. It's fucking sick. And I completely understand what you mean, because prior to me playing it, I'd look at it and think, what the fuck is going on? And someone can explain it to you, and they can explain it perfectly, but you're never going to get it. You have to play it to understand how it works. And as soon as you do understand, it's it's just satisfying. I was playing it whilst I was sat in Riverside waiting for both of you earlier. I was sat in Riverside for 40 minutes just playing Balatro and just having a fucking great time. It's a 90 is too low on the Metascore. It should be higher. It's a really, really, really well-made game. And it was made by one bloke, I'm pretty sure. It's class.
What would you rate it by, dude? If you had to rate it.
Oh, it's really fucking high. Maybe like, the issue is whenever I see content of it, it's always mods. Like people have modded the PC version to make like cards do different things, to add extra jokers and stuff. And those are all really cool. The base version, I'd still give it like a 94, 95.
Wow, high.
High as fuck. But then there are so many mods if you play on PC to make it even better. It's like, fuck. And it's just so addicting. But I love poker anyway, though, so I'm biased, I suppose. But it's just really good. It's just a phenomenal fucking game.
Awesome, man.
And fucking great for the Portal, boys.
Nice.
Great for the fucking Portal. But listeners, let us know what you think of these games, and let us know how high you score on fucking Balatro, because I'd love to know. I'd love to know what your setup is with your jokers and your deck. But moving on, we'll come across. I haven't heard Phil in a while because obviously he's been away. I missed that voice. Phil, mate, over to you. Give us a truth or a lie.
Okay, guys. Here is my truth or a lie. It's a very short one, okay? So I once won a video games tournament where I took home prize money. Quick news. So my quick news surrounds a game that's coming very, very soon called The Ghost of Yoti, and it's coming out on October 2nd. We have a confirmed date, okay? And it's been 5 years since Ghost of Tsushima, and we're on a vengeance quest with the main character to take out the Yoti 6 who killed her family. Okay, and I'm just going to go through how you can purchase the Ghost of Yoti. So you've got the standard edition at $69.99. So it's a very expensive AAA PlayStation game to buy. You've got the digital deluxe at $79.99, and that includes some in-game items. And then, of course, you've got a collector's edition, which is $249.99, and it includes her mask, which is very similar to, I believe, the original Ghost of Tsushima, where you got Jin's mask within the collector's edition. Now, guys, I want to throw it over to you because I'm not a fan of Ghost of Tsushima. I've never played the original, and I probably won't be picking this one up day one. Now, I want to throw it over to Spencer first because that's where we normally start. So, Spence, are you going to be picking up the Ghost of Yoti on October 2nd? And if you are, which version are you going to be buying?
Okay, so first, absolutely fucking not, because I've not played Tsushima, same as yourself, Phil. So we're in that same boat. And also, I'd just fucking lend Davies in it. But if I was going to get an edition, it would be the standard edition because all the in-game shit means nothing. But if I played Tsushima and adored it, and collector's edition didn't come with a mask, but came with a fucking sword, like it should, I'd buy that. Because I'd fucking love a nice freaking Ghost of Yoti katana. Imagine that on the wall. That'd be sick. But I think the mask is cool, but it's not for me. So I'd get the standard edition if I were to buy it.
Fair enough. And as you're not pre-ordering it, you are going to miss out on an in-game mask and 6 avatars for your PlayStation. That's the carrot, the juicy carrot that they're dangling in front of you to try and get that £70 out of your pocket. But you are completely right. If I was going to dive in and buy the Ghost of Yoti on October 2nd, I would definitely go for the standard version at $69.99. Big pill to swallow, because I definitely wouldn't be going for the digital deluxe with the in-game items that improve your chances of completing the game, because I do not need those cheat codes for an extra tenner. And the collector's edition, the mask is nice, right? But I'm not a hardcore fan, so I don't need a collector's edition, and I've run out of space. I bought stuff over in Japan, and I've had to put it in the cupboard because I don't have space in my office. I need to buy a bigger house, boys, and then I can start buying more collector's edition. I'm worried because I've got the Magella Man turning up with Death Stranding 2 soon. So I'm going to have to take something down and put it up the loft, put it into storage. I'm thinking it's probably going to be Venom.
Never.
Yeah,
Whoa.
I think so. Looking around my room, I think it's probably going to be Venom that's going to go. He's
That
been up there a lot.
Sick.
It's a 6 statue. He's been up there a while, but the game wasn't amazing, was it? I kind of want quality up on the shelves. Well, quality statues that represent quality games that I'm in love with.
I really like Spider-Man 2, but that's fair enough.
But anyway, regardless of my space worries, I'm not buying the game. Davey, are you going to be jumping in with the Ghost of Yoti?
Fuck yeah. Yeah. This is going to be one of my most anticipated games of the year. You goddamn right I am. Yeah, I'll be there day one. Absolutely day one. Ghost of Tsushima, when you guys do play it, you'll be fucking buzzing. It's class. It's really fucking good. Like, really good. You'll love it. You'll absolutely adore it. You really will. You'll need the time investment, but it's worth it, 100%. It's up there. It's up there, boys. It's really, really good. I was going to say one of the best games on PS4, but I'd have to think about that. It's definitely in the conversation, though. I wouldn't be ashamed if somebody was like, yeah, I'll put it up there. It was great. It was really, really good. In terms of which edition, I'm kind of hoping it's just going to be a Steelbook edition that will come out somewhere. But what will often happen is we'll get a little bit closer and then game will come out and be like, oh, we've got this version, which they managed to wrangle. That's what I'm kind of hoping for. But otherwise, it'd be the standard edition for me. The collector's edition, I think, is actually really, really good for this. The amount of stuff you get in it isn't just the mask. The mask is like the highlight, but there's loads of cool little physical trinkets that when playing the game, it'd be one of those ones that after you finish it, you'd be like, fuck, I wish I had that. Oh, fuck, I wish I had these kind of things. You know what it's like? It's like with Queen's Blood in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth Part 2, right? The card game that was the best part of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. If that collector's edition had Queen's Blood, like a full working Queen's Blood deck, I'd be fucking gutted now because I fucking love Queen's Blood. So I'd be like, fuck, I want to play that, right? And this has got like one of the games that's featured in this. It's got the pieces for you to be able to play that yourself. So that could be really fucking cool. I really like it. I really like this collector's edition. The reason I'm not going for it is because I didn't get the Ghost of Tsushima collector's edition. And so I think if I had that, I'd feel obliged that I have to get this so that it's a matching set and it would look awesome. But I looked online straight away as soon as this came out at how much Ghost of Tsushima's collector's edition is now. And it's like 300 quid. So it's just a no-go, you know? So I'm not going to start down this road. I'm just going to leave it and go for the standard edition for this one. And that's going to be fine, you know? And the $69.99, that's the standard RRP for PlayStation games. It's not going to be that. Like, we're not going to pay that in, like, Shop 2 or anything like that. It won't be that. But that's what they are. So it's no different from any other physical AAA release we've had on PlayStation. It's not a markup. That's the standard price.
It's horrible, though, isn't it? It is horrible. It feels expensive, doesn't it? When it comes out at £70. £70. I know, and I know we spoke about this.
We're 4 years into this
a
generation.
1,000,001 times. It just feels a lot of money. All right, Rich Man Davey, you can afford these, but there's some people in this world that will struggle to afford these games, and I might be one of them at the moment because I spent a ludicrous, an absurd amount of money over in Japan, so I definitely won't be buying this game.
It's like being sad that they're charging what 5p a bag, and for like a plastic bag, and being like, it's fucking 5p.
They're 30p now, mate. Thank you.
If you get a posh bag for life, mate. But if you get like one of the shit little ones that breaks 22 seconds down the road, there's still 5p.
Great.
In a lot of places. Yeah. Yeah, shit. But it'd be like being outraged about that now when it's been in place for like 15 years. You know,
I still am, I'm not going to lie.
Oh, God, you guys are melts, man. But yeah, I'm not going to pay 70 quid. No chance I would. If I was going digital, then I'd use like top-up cards and things like that to get it considerably cheaper. But I'm going to get physical for this bad boy anyway. And so I'll just go on either Shop 2 or Game Collection or something and get it for a price that I'm willing to pay.
A good place for the steelbooks sometimes is Amazon. They sometimes get exclusives for steelbooks.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So that might be worth checking if there possibly is one in the future. It's always one that I look to when I want to get a steelbook because I'm like you. I like the standard edition. Collector's editions frustrate me because I don't have the room. They're really expensive and they just annoy me if I really like the game and I haven't bought it. So I try and forget about them. But I will spend that little bit more money to have a Steelbook. As we know with our friend J-Rod, we're big fans of a Steelbook, aren't we?
100%. 100%. We'll wait and see. We'll wait and see. But were you guys, obviously, with this release, they had, full kind of gameplay trailer where it showed like what the whole story is and everything. Did none of that kind of grab you? Or, I mean, what did you think about like the visuals and stuff like that? Did any of it kind of appeal? Or is it just a case of, because I haven't opened this book, I'm not going to kind of invest too much thought into it?
A mixture of both, actually. So I'm not invested at all, but the story was compelling, right? It's a vengeance story. It's a revenge story, right? She's going after the 6 people that took out her family. And it kind of struck me a little bit reminiscent of Metal Gear Solid, because each individual boss was its own huge character. And I'd imagine all the build-up and all the kind of characters that come before it are sort of themed around this character that you're moving towards. So yeah, it does interest me and it excites me, but I'm not as invested because I didn't play the first one.
Yeah, it's the exact same for me. I haven't even watched the big gameplay thing, and I'm not going to, because I know I'm going to adore this game. I know I will. But why would I? I haven't played Tsushima. So it's just not happening.
Yeah, fair. And I think the good thing about this being set so many hundreds of years later is that you don't have to have played the previous one. I can't imagine there's going to be any, other than the odd throwback or something. I can't imagine they'll be like, oh, let me tell you about my great-great-great-great-great-great-great-grandfather. Like, it's not going to happen, right? So there'd be like an odd thing. Maybe you'll see somebody from his clan or something, right? Like, there'd be that maybe mentioned, but I can't imagine it would be anything that's going to really tie it straight back into one. But who knows? Who knows?
What kind of loser is jumping in with the second version of a game?
In it, yeah.
Like, who is out there going, do you know what? I'm going to start with Silent Hill 2. Right.
A lot of people did, I think, mine.
They probably did, yeah. And they're going to start with Metal Gear Solid 3, aren't they?
Yep. That's what's wrong with this world.
That's what's wrong with this world. One of the things that's wrong with this world.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of many.
Yeah.
That's the main one, though.
That's the main thing.
Yeah. Metal Gear Solid 3 fans.
Yeah.
That's the problem with this world.
Yeah, that is. Yep. Time for my truth or a lie. I have never shit myself since being an adult. Quick news. Speaking of survival games, when we were talking about Ark earlier, Subnautica 2 has had its first gameplay footage, lads. Now, Subnautica is a series that I fucking adore. Came into it very late when we had it on, I think it was PS Plus or something like that we got it. There was then a standalone kind of edition that was kind of like a half game that they released. And then now this is the next kind of full-blown one in Subnautica 2. This game's scheduled to be out on PC in 2025. I think for consoles it hasn't got a hard and fast date yet. But the big standout feature from this is that it's Subnautica, but in co-op. So you can go in and you can explore the oceans and build your bases and all that stuff together. And I had so much fucking fun with Subnautica 1. I remember whenever any of you guys would come online, I'd be in there. I'd be like, come and let me show you my base. Let me show you my little thing I built. Let me show you my cool little vehicle that I've made. And these are all my fish that I've got, my crops. I cannot fucking wait. And looking at this tiny little, so 9 seconds worth of footage, right? So like nothing. It just looks like Subnautica. Just prettier. And that's exactly what I want. I don't know why. I was really worried that when they were saying about co-op, that I was thinking, oh god, it's going to move away from it a little bit. And it doesn't look like it. It looks exactly like Subnautica 1, except that you could see somebody else zipping about in their own vehicles or whatever. Great. Like, this is fucking everything I want. Any of you guys going to be joining me on the Subnautica 2 hype train when that train eventually comes into the station, be it in 2026?
Call me a hypocrite, because we were just talking about not jumping in the second version of a game, and now we're talking about Subnautica 2, and I'm thinking about jumping in. Because hell, take me to Atlantis. This game looks amazing. And seeing the joy across your face, right, when you talk about this game, and it's a co-op game. The amount of co-op experiences that we've had together, and they've been some of the best gaming experiences of my life. So why wouldn't I want to dive in, excuse the pun, to Subnautica and experience this with you? But let me just go back to Subnautica 1. Didn't Subnautica 1 have, I know it's a survival game, but didn't have somewhat horror vibes to it, right? Now, with Subnautica 2, you can now start to take your friends. Isn't this an example of devs really not understanding what made the first game good with introducing a co-op element to Subnautica 2?
There is certainly that possibility, yeah, and that's going to be the thing they're going to have to try and balance. And I don't think they intended to make it frightening, right? The first one, but it really was. Like when you went around to the abyss for the first time, or kind of anywhere close to the abyss, and you saw like this giant Leviathan creature that would just fucking ruin you in one hit. It was scary as hell. And then, like, you would hear it. You wouldn't see it, right? And you just hear it in the distance. You'd be like, what the fuck is that? Because you've just been catching little tiny fish. And you're like, what the fuck is that noise? And he'd be like, oh, do you know what? I'm going to explore over there because I think there might be some resources that I need. And then you just see this, like, shadow in the distance of this just ginormous creature. And you're like, oh, as long as I turn my lights off, I reckon I'll probably be all right. And then you're running low on fuel or energy reserves and things like that. And you're like, okay, I gotta kind of move from here. And it's just there, you know? And you're thinking, oh God, please no. Please no. And you just like go in and it's like swiping past you and shit. Fucking immense, right? Like proper heart beating in your chest moments. I wonder how they're going to be able to balance that in co-op. And I think that will be the true test for this. I imagine there will be something lost. I think it'd be impossible not to lose that, right? Like any kind of co-op game I can think of, especially for like if we're taking it to like the extreme examples here and go to like the game that Carmi mentioned 5 and 6, right? Like putting it into co-op completely ruined any kind of scare factor. Ultimately, though, 4 had kind of ruined that scare factor anyway, right? So like it was kind of just the building blocks from that, so it wasn't going to be scary in the first place. So we'll have to kind of see.
Yeah, it's difficult, isn't it? Because the only one that I can sort of think about that had elements of kind of mystery and a little bit of kind of spookiness was when we were playing through Portal 2 together. But they very much split you up during those periods of kind of high tension and worry and, you know, discovery. And then they brought you back together to solve the puzzles. But for this game, it feels like you're just free to explore together, right? And then eliminate that fear.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, the thing that would be quite interesting, though, I suppose, and the thing that could still kind of organically create those moments would be if you're like, right, we need 2 things. So to be able to build our next big thing, we need gold and we need silver. I'm going to get off gold. You get a silver. I'll meet you back at the base. And so then you split off, and then you'd be like, okay, Phil, I think there's something here. Like, do you have the gun? Because I didn't take the gun. And he'd be like, yeah. Like, fuck, okay, I might need you here. And he'd be like, oh God, oh my God. And then on the other side, the other person just like absolutely fine. And the other person's like, please come get me. Like, you could get those kind of moments, right? Or like if your ship gets ruined and all your shit's on the floor and the other person has to come for a rescue mission. Like, it might organically create like these other heightened moments. I suppose that's the test of how well they'd be able to kind of develop it and kind of lean into that a little bit more and use the co-op and having somebody there as an advantage to add into that kind of tension, you know, rather than stripping away from it. But that's the kind of big question, I suppose, that we'll have to keep on our minds as we continue to unravel more and more information about this game. Any thoughts, Spence, or should we move on?
I'm fucking... Well, to be fair, your first question, are we aboard the hype train? No. Co-op's great. Co-op's great. It's just not my kind of game, but you two crack on.
Awesome. There you go, Phil. You and me. You can come and join
Sounds
my
good.
Atlantis. We can
He's
make
up.
a nice little
I'll
Atlantis
take the
together.
subs vest off.
Hell yeah, my mate. Well, there you go. So let's move it on back round. Over to yourself then, Spence. Give me your second and your final truth or lie.
Sure, mate. So my other one, also golf related. I've never scored a birdie in my life. Quick news. So for my second bit of quick news, lads, the PS5, or the PlayStation 5, whatever you want to call it, has had a new system software update with features focusing on audio and a return to the classic console UI customizations. And I've got the full fucking blog post right in front of me. So the audio focus, the new feature, it says it increases immersion by providing presets to amplify soft sounds to meet your hearing preferences, ensuring a clearer audio experience when using headphones or headsets. This feature supports broader accessibility in audio experiences. So it's just a freaking mixer like we've had for fucking years. So I got that with my Pulse anyway. I don't know what that's about. But now everyone has it. Brilliant. Customize your shit, I suppose. And then the console designed UIs. So this is what they've said. During our 30th anniversary celebrations, we surprised fans with a limited time selection of nostalgic customization features for the PS5 to honor the 4 PS consoles prior, PS1, PS2, 3 and 4. And due to the overwhelmingly positive response from our community, we're happy to bring back the look and feel of the 4 console designs for players to customize the home screen on PS5. So there's now just an appearance tab under your settings. Yeah. So now you've got mixer if you want to change your audio, and you can customize your thing about as much as we've been able to customize it for the last few weeks anyway. Not the biggest update, but are you boys grateful for these features? Davey, over to you. What do you think?
I am. I really am. I mean, like, going to the audio stuff first, right? I think that's the less interesting out of the two for me.
Think?
Yeah, I think so. I think all it does, it just shows that Sony, the start of this generation, they talked all about the enhancements to sound that they made, right? In terms of their own custom sound engine and everything else. And this just goes to show they're still continuing to refine it and make it better and bigger and better than it always was. I remember at the start of PS5, there was like Mark Cerny coming out and he was like, eventually you'll be able to send off a scan of your ear and we'll be able to make it perfect for you, right? And that's just never happened, right? I've always kind of waited for that. I'm thinking, when are we getting that? Because I want to definitely do that. I want to get a scan of my ear and see, like, what's the best thing. But they've never kind of done that. But I think, more options is better than not. So, awesome. Cool, right? Just continue to keep investing in it. Maybe when we get to PS6, we're going to have something, like, fucking insane with the sound, with all the work they're doing here across this generation. In terms of the UI, fucking class, right? I loved these fucking these themes when they came out. And the big thing, I've been saying this entire fucking console generation, bring back fucking themes. Like, bring back dynamic themes and all that shit. And it's just been a fucking no until they did this little tester here. I'm hoping this is the start of something bigger. And then we start getting more and more themes on. Because I want to be able to have a theme. For, like, fucking hell. When I booted up my PS3 when we were last playing, do you remember that film, The Other Guys?
Yeah.
I had a theme for that. Like that Will Ferrell film. Like, I had themes for everything, dude, on PS3. It was class. And here we are with nothing, right? Like, I really want them. I really want to be able to have, like, a Last of Us 2 theme, or have, like, fucking Ratchet and Clank theme, or whatever it is. I want to be able to have those options and have that built in. I really, really do. So I'm just hoping this is, like, the first steps into re-exploring themes. And for me, it's just money on the table. Like, I'd gladly pay like 50p or whatever for a cool ass theme if it would look awesome. Like, I'd love that. And you just can't do it. And it's like, why give up the free revenue? Like, it's very low effort to be able to make, I'm sure, to potentially some reward on the back end. Like, why not?
Fair. I've got some contradicting points to that, but we'll go over the Phil first, mate. Phil, what do you think about this update?
I think it's massive, mate. Groundbreaking. Absolutely huge. I'm glad I'm on PlayStation when these wealth of updates are coming through that's really going to benefit me. I'm kind of half joking because I think the audio focus, having more options and that progression of the technology there does seem like it's going to benefit us in the future. And if you read a little deeper, there are some really cool accessibility kind of options within that, where you can kind of select areas of the sound which you can heighten. And we run a podcast and we struggle with the sound, and we're on 113 episodes. So if we can go in and tweak the sound a little bit, I think that's only going to be a benefit sort of moving forward. Okay. But Davey's completely right. I think the classic console themes, if you like, coming back from the 30th anniversary celebration of the 4 console designs, I think that's the step in the right direction now for us to realize that dream of actually having the themes back from PS3, because you're right, they were just everywhere. They're a money-making scheme, and I don't understand why PlayStation hasn't implemented those. I think it's something that we've asked for a very, very long time, and they've just kind of ignored us. I don't understand why they've never done it. As Davey said, it's just money on the table that they're just going, do you know what? We don't need that. I don't know why. Of course you need it. Free money.
I see. I agree with you boys that themes are class, and I'd love to have them back. I don't think it's viable with the UI of the PS5. Because, like, sure, this whole thing we've got with the customization, it's exclusively for the quick access menu and that welcome screen that they added. That's it. Everything else is when you're hovering a game, theme's fucked off, that game is in your face with the art they've chosen to put there, which might change depending on how far through you are, and the music they've chosen to put on there, which always slaps, by the way. Whenever they put custom music on. Like Street Fighter's theme slaps, Balatro theme, whenever you're hovering, it's class. Themes, I feel, can't exist on the PS5 because you're no longer flicking through random stuff anymore. It's just the games up top. That's all there is. Whereas on the PS3, PS4, you were flicking through random shit. Or the PS3 especially, you were going through photos to media to your settings. Massive long fucking list of things, whereas it's all hidden away now. Now it's just the games you flick through. I feel like a theme isn't viable the way PS5 is structured.
We're not saying that these themes would, 100% take over the system. So when you are booting up Balatro, you're getting a Last of Us theme over the top of it. Those things would still exist. But where the classic console theme comes in, and that 30th anniversary where you saw the 4 different consoles, that's where you would get that level of customization. And we're just looking for a few more options, really. I'm not looking for that whole system to completely change. I just want to be able to have more options to customize my PS5. And it seems like an area that, we're quite a way through the generation now, and this is all we've got. It seems like a missed opportunity to me.
Yeah, I think for me, like, I'd take it one step further. Like, why can't you just be able to say, well, let's just stop it doing that? Why can't I go onto it and just have it as, like, static images that I select if I want to? Like, what if I don't want to get blasted in the face by the Street Fighter 6 music every time I scroll past it?
You do.
Of course I do. Yeah, But what if I don't? What if I don't like that? What if it does my fucking head in? Then you could just, why not be able to turn that off and just have your custom theme playing on? Like, it can't be that complicated to have like a setting in there to stop that from doing it and just on or off. Like, surely it can't. And I think like if there was just enough of a financial incentive for them to be able to do it, and they put out like my PS4 skin is sick. I got like Ghost of Tsushima one, and it's the sword. And it's just all like petals going across and the grass moving. And it's just like, oh, this is cool. Because I'll often just like exit out of a menu on my PlayStation and it would just be on like the main home screen. And to stop music blasting, I have to go all the way over to the left to go onto that kind of explore bar. So I'm not just getting hit in the face with like Clair Obscur's got a class 1, but it's fucking loud. And if I just want to be on my phone or something for a minute, I just go over to that. What if I don't want to have that, right? Like, I think just options is just good. Like, why not do it? I don't see a reason why not.
That's fair. I mean, more options is always better. I agree with you boys with that, 100%. And I think what you're saying about just having an option to turn off the games being the main focus, sure, it'd work. I wouldn't use it. So that's just my bias. But I get where you guys are coming from, and 100% more is better. So, fair enough. Moving very swiftly on. Coming back round to yourself, Mr. Philip Hoy. Give us that truth and or lie. Well, or lie.
Okay, well, my second truth or lie is that I once won a skateboarding tournament and took home prize money.
What the hell?
Quick news. So guys, I've got a quick update on the game that cannot be mentioned for remake. This has now sold over 10 million units worldwide in 2 years. It's the fastest selling game in the series, okay? So absolutely congratulations to Capcom because that has been a roaring success. Capcom have also released some figures around sales of other recent games, such as the game that cannot be mentioned, 7, that has sold 15 million. The game that cannot be mentioned, 2, that's up to 15 million. Village is 11 million, and the game that cannot be mentioned, 3, is 10 million. So the game that cannot be mentioned, and I'm really struggling here, has been selling like absolute hotcakes, guys. Can you believe it? I can. Spencer, coming over to you. What's your reaction to this?
Mate, it makes perfect sense. It's the most popular one. You know, I'm surprised it's selling. I'm not surprised at the amount it sold, because it makes sense. I'm surprised it's selling faster than number 5 did. Because number 5 was like, everyone was on number 5, because it was just a co-op game with your mates. And it was kind of like the introductory game to that. A lot of people's first co-op experience was number 5. This is terrifying to talk about, by the way.
Really
nerve-wracking.
Need to move on.
Yeah, but well, no, it's more fun if we don't. But the other numbers, I think everything, it makes sense. I think digits are kind of what you'd expect them to be. Like number 4 was always the most popular one anyway, and a remake of it, you'd think, yeah, of course, and it's brilliant. It's really, really good. So fair enough. I'm just surprised to see it beat out number 5. I'm not even saying the game that can't be mentioned because I know I'll slip. I'm just saying the number.
So you agree with the number of sales for 7, 2, Village, and 3? You would see them in that order, would you?
I think I would, just because, well, 7 being, yeah, I think so. Because 7 was brilliant and it was a return to form. 2 is brilliant, but it's a remake, but it's one of the best. And then Village was brilliant, but again, I think it released at a time where people didn't need it as much. I don't know, it was quite a big streaming game. I don't know. But 3 being at the bottom, 100%. That's where it belongs. And the rest, yeah, I think it makes sense. But yeah. I just think, yeah, it makes sense, man.
Fair. I was surprised that 7 was so high, personally. Just because it's a return to the series, because there was a bit of a gap, wasn't there? And it's a completely different take on the game that cannot be mentioned from previous games. And generally when a developer goes in and starts changing things, it's never that good. But in this case, it was for us, and it was for a lot of people, and it sold very well. So I'd imagine that one I would have imagined that one to be a little lower. And I would imagine probably 3 to be a little higher after the success of 2. Davey, I don't know if you agree with me on those.
A little bit off. I mean, like, the surprising things for me here, right, is that 3, I'm surprised it sold as many as it did. Because that's what I'm surprised about, because the outrage was fucking nuts. All 3 of us were saying it was good, right? Like, I remember saying it was still great, like, really, really good. We were the only ones. Like, everyone in the game that can't be mentioned, God, I need to then. Everyone in the community hated it. They was just like us that were like, yeah, do you know what? It's different from the original. It's not as good as the original, but it's different. And I like it. 7, though, that's blown my mind. 50 million. I mean, like, it came out at a good time for the PlayStation 4, when the PlayStation 4 had a lot of units out in the wild. So that would have helped it quite a lot, quite considerably. And, of course, it looked fucking fantastic as it was.
Yeah. It was also, mate, just it's been out for yonks, and it was, when it first released, it was a streamer's dream. It was all over Twitch, all over YouTube. Every streamer was playing it, and everyone bought it just because of it. If a game gets big on Twitch, it just sells gangbusters.
Yeah, and it's been out such a long time, you know, compared to Village. It's been out a lot longer than Village. So it's not too surprising to see Village where it is. I think Village's thing that lets it down a little bit is because it just released at the start of the console generation. So there just wasn't... It was hard to get a PS5. Like, really, really hard. And so by the time people come into it then, they're probably picking up secondhand copies, things like that. Like, that will count against it a little bit. But 11 million is still very impressive. Really, really impressive. And 4 remakes selling 10 million units in 2 years just goes to speak of the quality of that game. That remake is up there. I'd have to think about it, but probably top 3 for me in terms of game can't be mentioned games. It's just perfect. Like I got nothing bad to say about it at all. I think it's fucking fantastic. So yeah, really well done and very justly deserved.
Nice, just a bit of a celebration, a bit of a loving for Capcom. Not that we needed an excuse, because that's the reason it's called the game that cannot be mentioned.
Our favorite publisher.
Yeah, easy.
So move on before someone says it.
Well done, guys.
Well done, by the way. Well done, lads.
Well done.
Jesus.
I think whoever wins the big quiz next should put a rule in. I think it's time for us to release it now. I think we got it so good. It's time to release it and pick a different game that we can't mention.
Oh,
I was thinking about doing that, and I was thinking about having it so that we can't say Kojima or Metal Gear, and I thought it's just going to be such a pain in the arse when we cover Death Stranding.
Yeah.
That would be such a dick move. Like Metal Gear would be one that we could probably chuck in as a button.
I know Dayman, who was on Big Quiz and fan of the show, he thinks we should have our own individual one.
Oh, that'd be confusing for the audience.
Well, I don't know. I think
it's hard enough. I think it's hard enough just trying to figure out what we're on about when it's one game that we all share that we can't say, you know?
Yeah.
But there you go. A problem for the future king, for my successor.
Over to you, I think it is, Davey.
So, coming across to myself then for my final truth or lie. When drinking as a kid, I had a chronic fear of being sick in my sleep. And so, I would assemble a fort of pillows all around me to keep me in one location. This didn't stop till I was 18. Quick news. Clair Obscur Expedition 33, a little game that I've already mentioned a handful of times across this show. I'm sure it's not taking over the entire thing. It's getting a live-action movie, guys. So this was apparently announced back in January 2025. We're casting and a director. They're searching for those. They're still underway. And it's been co-developed by the Sonic franchise producers. So, I'm probably the only one who can speak on this in any real way. But I suppose before I do and kind of go into this a little bit, does the idea of having a movie based on a 30-plus odd hour RPG made by the Sonic franchise producers excite you guys?
This worries me. It really does. Because it's not an established franchise in any respect, right? It's brand new and it's blown up, right? And that's why everyone's getting behind it. And that's amazing to hear, right? But who in their right mind, outside the hardcore that's playing it currently on PlayStation, is going to go and watch this? How is it going to appeal to anyone? Sonic appeals because it's in everything. People know the character. It's been out for yonks. People have grown up with this character. It's generational. But this game, I'm only just hearing about it now. Why am I hyped to go to the movies?
I think it's different than that, mate. I think, as much as I agree with you, by the way, because I do, I think most of the people going to see Until Dawn right now, I don't think have played Until Dawn. A lot of people have watched The Last of Us having never played it and are adoring it. I think if the story is good enough in Expedition 33 to warrant the film, you don't necessarily have to enjoy the game to see that it's going to be a good film. The trailer might come out and it just slaps, you know? It might just grab a different audience in a different format. Who knows? But I completely agree with you. Why the fuck make it when the game's been out, fucking 4 days? What the fuck are they doing? Make something else.
The thing I don't get with this is, from what I'm experiencing so far in this story, and I'm not giving a goddamn thing away, it's been amazing, right? It's been really hitting hard, like some of the best in video games can do. But it's that same old thing of like condensing it down into a movie will lose so much that surely a TV show is the better option. Because then you can have like whole episodes dedicated to characters and you can really just flesh things out. You know, like Christ, this is going to be, by the time I'm done with this, it'll probably be like around the same length, if not more, than The Last of Us Part 2, right? The Last of Us Part 2 goes on for fucking ages. And they're going to make that over like 2 seasons of TV, like 16 odd hours worth of TV, right? Like this, how do you tell the story in even like a 2.5 hour experience? I don't know. Like I went to go watch the Minecraft movie for my sins with my son, and that was fine as a movie, right? Because it's just like throwaway fucking rubbish. But when you've actually got a story to tell, movies find it really hard when they just got just an idea and they got to try and deliver that, let alone condense something that's so long and try and get all the key moments and parts and not make it feel like the pacing's all over the fucking place. Like how you build that so it's got like a 3-act structure that really like kind of ramps and drops where it needs to is difficult, right? Like in the best scenario, let alone when you crush something down to get the bare bones. And we've seen this so many times with video game movies that just haven't done it right. Like every single time we have the game that can't be mentioned movie comes back around, they're always shit. As much as Joe Dayman was telling me that, oh, the Barbarian director is going to do a fucking great job. I will never believe it. I've been burnt too many times. I've touched that fucking hot stove thousands of times and been fucking burnt even worse on that last time.
It gets worse every time, doesn't it?
It gets worse.
Worse. The more you touch it, the hotter it gets and the more burns you get and the longer the scarring lasts.
Yeah.
It does get worse every time.
Yeah.
It does. You start off with the first film with Mila Jovovich and
It's
you're like,
quite
"Oh,
good.
that's not too bad.
Yeah.
That's fine.
It's all right. I can take that
Yeah.
pain.
That's fine. Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe I should wear oven gloves, but it's fine. I can do it. Go back for the second one, it fucking stings a lot. Third time, maybe it's burnt too much down. Maybe your skin's like, your nerves have gone. Because the third one's not too bad. It's all right. Fourth one's not too bad. I can't feel this anymore. And then it gets gradually, the pain starts seeping through. It's going down to the bone then at that point. And by the time we get to Welcome to Raccoon City, Jesus Christ, there's just nothing left. You're going to hospital then. Fucking diabolical. So yes, I don't have much faith in this being a movie. But in terms of casting, they're fucking idiots if they don't just hire the voice cast. Because it's Charlie Cox is one of the voices, the guy who plays Daredevil. Just get him in there. Like, what the fuck? He's a fucking actor. Ben Starr, who I know from Final Fantasy 16, he's in this too. He's a good-looking lad. He could just be in there as well. Fucking just put the fucking voice actors in there. Like, they're actors. You don't need to do much. It's like with fucking Until Dawn, where they're like, oh, that movie, by the way, is fucking pissing me off. I'm not going to watch it. Do you know, it's nothing like the video game at all. Do you know that?
Yeah, I've seen. It's literally like die and come back to life.
It's like fucking Groundhog Day.
I'll tell you what, though, from what I've seen, it looks quite good.
Oh, mate.
Ooh.
Yeah, but you bought fucking Welcome to Raccoon City on fucking Blu-ray.
4K, mate. 4K Blu-ray. But that's good, that film, mate. I like that film because it's one of those bad films you can have a proper laugh at. Welcome to Raccoon City. We were wetting ourselves in the cinema. And that's why I bought it, because it's funny. Whereas I was going to give it to one of you as a gift, and I just never did. I just kept it for myself.
Straight in the bin.
Yeah, that's why I didn't.
Yeah.
But Until Dawn, mate, it looks quite good. But you're right, it's literally just not the game. But the reason they didn't get the cast to come back was because not in a world could they afford them.
No, probably not.
Not a world. Was it Mr. Robot fella?
Remy Malek.
Nah, he ain't coming back.
Yeah, no chance. They could have got maybe Hayden Panettiere or whatever her name is.
Yeah, she's not doing much. Yeah. But it's been like, well, actually, it's not even been that long. It's been like 8 years.
I don't think she could play a teenager though.
They'd find
like
a way.
A 45-year-old woman.
She didn't look like a teenager in the game.
No, she didn't. No.
None of them did. Not one.
No, not one. Not one. Oh, dear. Well, that's enough of that. And that brings our quick news to a close. It's time for us to really start getting into these truths and lies here. Spence, I'm going to come to you first on this, right? Your two that you had were first chip in last week, and then never scored a birdie in my life. These are both golf references, I get that. Chip in, I imagine, is that when you're down in the dunes, in the bunker, and you chip it and it goes in that way? Is that right?
It is, but it could also just be if you're off the green. So, like, if you're just not on the green and you chip it onto the green and it goes in, that's a chip in.
All right. And a birdie is where you're -1?
Yeah. So you do better than par.
Okay. So, describe to me your first chip in. What happened with this?
So my birthday, by the way, Mrs. took me to Killeen Golf Club, municipal golf course. which means there's no, you don't need membership, nothing. It's regulated by the government. Very nice. And a hole, I don't know what hole it was actually, but there's 2 bunkers there. I wasn't in the bunker. I was just past the left bunker in not quite the fringe, a bit of rough. And I grabbed my trusty lob wedge, which I just got off a bloke in Facebook Marketplace a few weeks ago. Hit it wrong, and it went in. But, you do that thing where you hit it wrong, but you're like, that's me, even though you didn't even mean to do that.
Pass it off as the real thing.
Pass it off. It wasn't like, it didn't go straight in the hole. It didn't like dip straight in on a swish, but it got on and it rolled on. And I'm surprised it went in because it was going quite fast, but it hit the flag and went and stayed in.
Any questions with this one, Mr. Hoy, on either of
They
Spencer's?
they both sound very believable, don't they? And one is that you did, and one is that you haven't hit a birdie. Is that correct?
Well, the chip in could have been my 9th shot, I might have got a triple bogey. I can't remember what it was, the chip in. I'm confident it wasn't a birdie, though. It was definitely a bogey or par, that chip in.
So you've explained the chip in. Can you explain the birdie?
Birdie, I've hit like 2 birdies. One of them Ridgeway with Dan. There's a beautiful par 3 where it goes on a little incline, little hill, and then there's 2 bunkers. And just fucking got it up there, close to the hole, surprisingly, with a pitching wedge, because it's only a 120-yard shot. And then you tapped it in. So 1 under. And then another one I've had in Killeen on a par 5, which was fucking miraculous.
It's difficult, isn't it? Because I think the chip in feels more achievable than the birdie.
Well, your thing you put up as one of them was never scored a birdie in your life. So you just said you've had 2 birdies. So I'm going to say that the first chip in last week.
Oh wait, yeah, they fucked that up, didn't I?
Yeah. Are you joining me on that one, Phil?
Oh, 100%, yes. Yeah, I kind of was
celebrating my chip in.
half understanding that you got that wrong, yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah. So, is that a -1 then for yourself?
That's fucking
That
minus
feels
2,
like a
no?
shot
That's a
straight away,
minus 2,
doesn't it?
mate, no?
That's a shot.
Do I
Yeah,
know?
-2.
-2 because you both got, fuck's sake. Yeah, I've never scored a birdie in my life. Shit's hard, man. Golf's tough.
Okay. Right.
Fuck.
Phil, should we question you or do you want to come to me?
You can question me. I think I was second up, wasn't I? So, do you want to hear him again?
I got him, I think. So, once won a video game tournament where I took home prize money.
Yep.
And then once won a skateboarding tournament where I took home prize money. So, one of these has to be true, which is the fucking wild thing.
That's nuts, isn't it? That's what I thought. That's what I thought.
When he said
crazy.
video game tournament, I was thinking, no fucking way.
Innit?
No way. And then skateboarding tournament's nuts.
It's crazy.
There we go. I to put it out there, boys, I had a life before you. You have only dragged me down. I've got worse from knowing you. I was winning things before I was friends with you guys.
Tell me about this video game tournament, mate. What was
game?
this all about?
So this was a game called Dawn of War. So it's an RTS game on the PC. And I went to a LAN tournament and absolutely bossed it and took home some PC kit and some prize money.
Where was the LAN tournament?
Chepstow.
Oh. Oh. All right. And this skateboarding tournament.
I gotta hear about the skateboarding one.
Yeah, I got it.
The skateboarding tournament was in Newport, in the skate park. So we went along and it was just like a locally run thing by, I totally forget the name of the shop that we used to go to in Newport. And
Freestyle?
it was, say again?
Freestyle?
I don't remember. I would
That's the
hate to
popular
say
one.
yes or no on that one because I don't want to lie on that one because this is the truth. That I won some prize money and a pair of jeans during this tournament. And it was just who could do the highest ollie. It wasn't like a huge tournament, right? There was a few different people and they said, whoever can do the highest ollie, we've got some kit to give away because they were promoting their shop at the time.
Was there like rules for the ollie? Did you have to be moving and land?
No, it was just a static ollie. So everyone sort of did one at a time. And it was like, it was kind of before social media, if you like. But it was just because there was like a group of people. It just had loads of people around, kind of like to promote the shop.
I reckon the truth is the video game tournament.
You think I won a video games tournament?
I do.
Okay.
I think you actually did. With you saying Chepstow, it makes it believable.
Does it?
Because
Okay.
yes, because there wouldn't be that many people that would be into it. I'm thinking about like when we run Fight Night and we ran fighting game tournaments, and if any of the locals came, they just got fucking rinsed, like absolutely rinsed. So I could see
Okay.
that being a reality. That's what I'm gonna go for that one being.
You're going to go for that being the truth. How about
Can I
you,
ask
Spence?
one further question?
Go on then. I'll allow it. 'Cause it's
Roughly,
you.
anyway, if you don't know exactly. How old were you during the skateboard tournament?
So it was early 2000s. So I would have been a teenager.
Mm.
I've got my skateboard behind me.
Oh,
I'll
yeah,
see
but
it.
I ain't seen you ride it, mate. Never.
I can ollie pretty high. I'm a tall guy.
No, it can't be skateboard tournament. I have to go video game. It can't be skateboard tournament. There's no way. I have to go video game. I'm going video game, mate.
Okay, you've caught me out. It's not the skateboarding tournament. As much as
Thank
I'd love
God.
it to be the skateboarding tournament, because a lot of that did happen, but it wasn't an ollieing contest. I don't know why I made that up. It's just the one move I could do, and you knew I could do that. I do have a skateboard behind me, and I can ollie pretty damn high, but it was nothing to do with that. There was a tournament to promote the shop at the time in Newport, but I didn't win. The video games tournament was in the early 2000s. I didn't lie about that one. And I was a teenager at the time. It was a LAN party in Chepstow called Trigger Happy LAN. And I took my thermal take case, which was absolutely massive at the time, probably twice the size of my PC now. And I played a game called Dawn of War, the original one, which again came out in the early 2000s. There was loads of tournaments over the weekend. My brother actually won the vast majority of the tournaments that we attended, but I won the Dawn of War tournament, and I took home some PC kit and some prize money. So yes, I did win a video games tournament back in the day.
Well done, mate. Well
Fair play,
done.
mate.
Well done.
So you
So-
both got it right. So congratulations, you saw straight through my lie. I thought you
skateboarding,
would get a
bro.
little confused on it because I've never won like a fighting games tournament with you guys. Like I've never even placed in like Street Fighter or, like Smash. So I thought you may have thought, well, the skateboarding one seems proper random, so go for that. But hey, you saw
As soon as you said RTS, because we've spoke about what games you and your brother used to play before, and I got racking in my head. I was like, oh, maybe he did.
Well, actually, we didn't really play Dawn of War a lot when we were growing up. It was more Counter-Strike. That was the game that we spent a lot of time in.
The locals in Chepstow were just fucking shit. They're just shit at games. Anyone born in Chepstow, I think. So
It was a snake's den
we
as
just
well.
smash them.
It was an absolute snake's den, the Trigger Happy LAN, because I remember they set up a tournament and they said, oh yeah, this is the tournament of Unreal Tournament at the time. And we played it and my brother won the tournament. And that was like the biggest prize of the weekend. And they were like, no, that was a practice.
What?
Never.
Because we were young and we were kids, we were like, oh, okay, fine, whatever. Because we didn't really realize how much like cash, and there was like a case and like not a full PC build, but like components for the PC. So my brother was just like, okay, fuck it, right, whatever. Like you run the tournament, we'll just abide by your rules. They played the tournament again. My brother won it.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh,
So we
that's
did back to
class.
back and fucked them. It was unbelievable. It was amazing.
Good.
Yeah.
What a happy ending.
Yeah, happy
That's
ending.
great.
Happy ending. But as I said, there was lots of tournaments over the weekend, and I managed to win a Dawn of War tournament, which I was very pleased about at the time.
Hell yeah.
Good memories.
So my two boys were, I've never shit myself since being an adult. And when drinking as a child, I had a chronic fear of being sick in my sleep, and so I would assemble a fort of pillows all around me to keep me in one location. This didn't stop till I was 18.
Okay. When you say you've never shit yourself, does that mean that you've never kind of produced during a time when you're sort of walking about, running, jogging?
Yeah, nothing like that.
It's
Never had
not that
Shit
you've
stains.
not wiped correctly and you've looked in and gone, because that happens to everyone, surely.
Oh yeah, that's what you mean. Like you mean like fucking skidders.
Yeah. So we're not
That's
talking
not the same-
skidders.
that's not-
You're
no, like
defining
shitting
shitting yourself as actually a log.
Yeah, like having diarrhea and just like exploding all over
and
yourself
it dropping
or
out
whatever.
your jean trousers. Like,
If it was a log, yeah. I mean, it's never happened. So I can only imagine other people.
It'd be
Obviously,
pretty
I
embarrassing,
shit
wouldn't
myself
it?
as a kid,
Mm.
like everyone does. No one comes out and they're like toilet trained. That'd be wild. Coming out of the womb, you're like, no, I don't need a nappy. I'll sort myself. But yeah, since being an adult, so from 18 plus, I guess, if you're doing it adult that way, then no, never shit myself.
Even drinking?
Yeah, even drinking. Yeah.
Now that one surprises me because you've done a lot while you have been drinking.
You've known me drinking now with me for like what 20 years.
Yeah, but you were way more reckless before I met you. You dragged me down. I improved you. You've got better because of knowing me.
I haven't shit myself since I've known you, to be fair.
The stories you've told me before I was like actually hanging out with you, way wilder.
But yeah, never. I've been sick, things like that, been paralytic, but never shit. My dad always used to shit himself when he was drinking. That's what he'd always just tell me. Yeah, I remember he told me a story once before where he was drinking around this girl's house and he was like paralytically drunk and she left him in the living room because he was just so fucked. And it was like his first kind of time going back to hers. And he woke up in the morning, just shit all over her living room.
How old were you at the time he was doing that?
Well, I wasn't born. This was
pre-me. Before you.
Yeah, this was before
last week.
No, that would be wild.
Went back to this girl's house, shat everywhere.
That would be wild. No, this was before he was a parent.
Okay.
But yeah, so as an adult myself, never shit myself.
Okay. Well, I got a question for the other one.
Sure.
A pillow fort. How many pillows was this fort comprised of, and where did you get them from? Because they can't have just been the two on your bed.
So it would be in my parents' house. Phil would know this more than you would spend. There's a linen closet, like directly opposite my bedroom in my parents' house, and so I could go in there and just pull out pillows, and don't have an exact number, but I don't know, 3, just like 3 kind of like all behind. So I'd have to lie on my side, so scared about it, that I'd just lie on my side like this, and I'd have my normal pillows, and I'd be like, go to bed, and I'd be like, and it's all because my mum said to me, like, one time as an offhanded topic, just don't get so silly that you're sick in your sleep or whatever. I'm like, what? That's a fucking thing? And that like played on me so much when I first started getting drunk that I'd lie down and then I'd have to put all pillows stacked to the side of me so I couldn't lie down flat. I'd have to be, if I lay back on them, I'd be like that. So at least if I was sick in my sleep, it would like go down here. And it would stop me.
And what age were you building these forts?
So from when I first started drinking from about 15, all the way through until I was legal to drink. And then by then, from about 18, I didn't need to anymore because I realised that you could just get I'd got blind drunk so many times and nothing had happened. So I stopped building the fort. And I was bringing girls back. And you can't make a fort.
Try explaining that.
Yeah. So that's why it stopped.
That's jokes. I guess if you've got a girl over, she is the fort.
Yes. She could be the fort, yeah.
Yeah. All right. I think I know my choice. Do you know yours, Phil?
Not really. I think you might shape my choice. I'm somewhere in between both of them.
Well, I'm going to go with the truth being that you've never dookied yourself. That's my choice.
I was also going to say that, yeah. That you've never actually shit yourself. Because I've known you for a fairly long time and I don't remember this happening. So you may have done it on the sly and just wiggled one out your jeans, as I said earlier, and no one's noticed. But I think that's the lie. I think you would have built a fort around you. Because when you start drinking, you start spinning out as well. And I think having the pillows around you might have given you some comfort during that period.
So you both bang on.
Yeah.
The lie is I've never shit myself since being an adult. I've shit myself once as an adult, only once, one time, and it was I was about to go on a first date with this girl that I'd met at a gig that I'd played in Meze Lounge, I was going to go meet up with her, and just had like a sudden, proper, like nervous bowel. And just when I was about to leave the house, just shit myself. I was like, fuck. I had to shower, get all cleaned up, and it never happened again.
To be fair, that's not a bad time for it to happen.
It was perfect time. Perfect time. Like the perfect result. But
as long as you weren't wearing those white jeans that you used to wear on stage, Davey.
They had to go in the wash, mate.
Oh, you were in the white jeans?
I can't remember the jeans. I can't remember the jeans. But I remember being in my downstairs bathroom being like, what the fuck? Like, because I'd never done this before and never happened since. And I think that's why, not to get too deep on this, I think that's why before I go out, kind of anywhere, if we're going out for drinks, I make sure I have a poo beforehand. I think it's like, that's like something that's just ingrained itself into me, you know? But you've all seen through each other's lies. We all know each other all too well. Oh, no?
I thought that was the truth, mate.
Really?
Yeah, that's what I said.
Spence, you are...
I said it was the lie, yeah.
Yeah, I buggered myself today. I swear we've talked, because I've shit myself as an adult. Or 16 at least.
Well, you did it in that school, didn't you?
I did it at a house party. It was my first... Oh, less of that. Less of that.
Oh, yeah, we were scrubbing it on the walls.
Less of on the walls and no one knew about it.
That's not shitting yourself. That's a targeted shit. Thank you very much. That's intentional. And that... Who knows who it was? Who knows? But 16 house party, shit myself. And I swear we've talked about it and you've gone, well, I've never shit myself. So you wouldn't know. Unless you've just hid it from me all these years. You've just thought this is the place to open up rather than to your friend.
I'm sure I've told you that story before. But hey ho, regardless of the fact, Spence, you unfortunately walk away with one shot in the dock to go in for the big quiz on the next time we do it, whenever that is.
There we have it.
And so with that, let's end quick news and bring it on to the topic. Stop! Topic time!
So lads, we're here with the topic after that shamble of a quick news on my part. What a fucking damn shame. Slipping up on my freaking lie. Fuck's sake. But I enjoyed your boys. Very entertaining, especially yours, Phil. Skateboarding tournament, what the fuck. It threw me for a ride. But we've moved on. We're now at the topic. And the topic is a bit of a smaller one than we usually get. But it's a topic all the same. This one revolves around Street Fighter 6. So there's been a new Elena trailer for Street Fighter 6 to go up in tandem with the start of Season 3 of Street Fighter 6. So Season 3 kicks off on June 5th with Elena coming out the same day. And it's going to be a big-ass update patch. New characters we're going to see the next season. And we've seen that gameplay from Elena. So what I'll ask first, lads, have you both seen the trailer of Elena?
Yeah, I have, yeah. Super hyped for it. Been keeping a close eye because Capcom have been really holding this back, and it definitely was held back. It was one of those things of people were saying for a while, you know, when are we going to see it? You know, Season 2's been dragging on for ages. It's been a long time since when are we going to get anything? And it's obvious that they were holding it back for the Switch 2. And so when the Switch 2 came out, then it's going to have all the characters. And so that date, June 5th, will be at the time of the Switch 2. So that's why. So it's so that the Switch 2 version gets year 1 and 2's character passes included with it. So it means that Elena will be there day 1 on that for the Switch 2 if you were to buy that version of Street Fighter 6. That's why it's been such a delay in this. And that's also why Capcom have been so coy about Season 3 and why we don't know kind of what that even remotely entails. But yes, I've seen it. Very, very excited by it.
Oh yeah. What about you, Phil? Have you seen it?
I haven't seen it, but I have seen the outrage on Twitter around this character. And I know the character very well from previous editions of Street Fighter. And I know she's somewhat unique in the Street Fighter universe because she has a healing mechanism. And now I'm thinking with Street Fighter 6, of course, I'm not as connected to this game as you boys, but I don't believe there's anything like that in Street Fighter 6. So that'd be very interesting to see how that sort of mixes things up for the future of the game.
Yeah, that trailer kind of took everyone for a bit of a ride. Because it's basically Elena's moves and stuff, and it's what you'd expect. She got long-ass limbs, and she's great at whiff punishing, stuff like that. But they showed off all 3 of her supers, and none of them are the heal. And then the trailer ends, and you think, oh, brilliant. And then after it ends, you just hear, heal, and she does a little animation, and you're like, fuck! So yeah, there's nothing else like it in the game at all. only character with a heal again. I can't believe they did it.
I'm glad the way they have done it though. Do you know the way they've done it?
I don't know the specific, no.
So they've done it really, really good way, I think. So as you know, with like characters like Ed or with Rashid, the level 2 is the one that has like the utility, right? Like that's the one where it gives you like something like, you know, Rashid gets his whirlwind, which means you can't do a goddamn thing for like fucking forever. Or Ed's ball, which can just corner carry you and does fucking obnoxious damage, etc. and so on. What they've done with this is her level 2, if you don't hold the button down, she does a full combo. And it ends in a way that you can follow on from the level 2 and keep a combo string going. But if you hold the button down, she hits them, they fly away, she doesn't get the juggle, but she gets healing.
Ooh,
so it's that
good.
choice. Yeah, I think it did it really, really well on this one. Obviously, we'll have to see what it looks like in reality, but having that choice between damage payoff or healing is a big fucking deal. It at least puts a choice on there rather than it being like, you know, a level 1 or something. You're like, oh, heal, yeah, I'll just heal. You know, and obviously it was tied before to like, you know, EX bars and things like that, bars you had to fill up. But in Street Fighter, you start with all your bars there, apart from your super bar, so they couldn't have had heal there. Otherwise, you'd have constant heal all the time. You know, it'd be a fucking nightmare. So I think the way they've done it and built it into a level 2, and that choice between damage or heal, is fucking awesome. I think that's just the best way you can do it personally, anyway.
That is clever. Although it's clever, but I think if you're behind, you just always heal. And if you're full health or it's going to kill, you just always don't. You know?
Yeah, I suppose so.
I feel like this choice, which is nice, but it's a pretty obvious choice.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not going to be too... I suppose it depends, doesn't it? It depends like how big of a... Because you know what it's like. You could be like really low on health, but if you get like a fucking good level 3, it can swing the momentum like so much that then you're like, I've got a chance to bring this back, you know? Like sometimes when you could deal enough damage to someone in short succession, the momentum can kind of shift to such an extent that it can kind of turn that game completely around. And I suppose that there will be those moments where you're like, oh, I don't know what to do, and hope that you've made the right choice, right? But I suppose with healing, you're never going to have a chance of dropping the combo or anything like that. You know you've always just going to, I'm going to get a benefit from this. You know, I've dealt some damage, I'm going to get a benefit as well. So...
I think I need to see how much it heals.
Yes.
If it takes her to full, fuck off.
Oh my god, if it took her to fucking... If it gave her like even fucking quarter of a health part back, be outrageous.
A quarter is what I expect, I think. I think a quarter is like the maximum I expect. If it's more than that, it's fucked off. But a quarter, like, for 2 bars, a quarter I can live with, I think.
That's like a full... You know, like eating a full combo into... Like, not a drive rush combo, but a full basic combo that you've got extra health back.
Yeah, that's okay. I think that's fine. Because the game's so drive rush heavy. I think that's fine.
Ooh, we'll have to wait and see.
That's fine. But I think we leave Lena there because that's all we've seen. There's not too much to talk about with Lena yet. Just, you know, she looks quite good. In more ways than one. I think she actually looks great. Graphically speaking, you know. Maybe not on the Switch 2.
Okay.
Maybe not on the Switch 2, but on the PS5, whew, she looks fucking fantastic. Skimpy little out. All right, well, along with her, we also have the Season 3 balance patch coming in. And like you've said, Davey, you prefaced this a little bit, we have no fucking foggy what this might entail. But I'm sure you've probably got some great ideas of what it might. Being a generational Street Fighter player, you've obviously come from Street Fighter 4, you played a bit of 3. Everyone's played 2. Dipped our toes in 5, who won very good. You know, you come from a far way down in Street Fighter, so do you, Phil. Both of you have played a lot more than I have of the older ones, so you probably know a bit more of what to expect. What do you expect to see in Season 3? Either of you. Take the floor.
Phil, be my guest.
Sure, well... Having Ronaldo join Fatal Fury, it really got me thinking of what possibly could happen
Davey,
with the future of Street Fighter 6, okay? Now, bringing real-life people and crossing them over to increase the appeal of a game sounds like a business opportunity, doesn't it? Now, Capcom and Street Fighter 6 have had a very static relationship in the sense that the game, I don't believe, has changed a hell of a lot, okay? It's kind of been very similar season on season, and people are crying out for a change. And maybe that change could be bringing real life characters over to Street Fighter to increase that appeal and bring more people into that ecosystem. Of course, they've built in mechanics to Street Fighter 6 to make it more appealing to people who aren't in the FGC and make it less of a hardcore game. So having someone that people can have that affinity with straight away and recognize straight away, I think could be a positive thing for Street Fighter. Now, I went over to my favorite application these days, ChatGPT, and asked them what the most famous person in the world was, because it needs to have that mass appeal, right? And I've got the top 5. Number 1, in fact, is Ronaldo. So that's probably why Fatal Fury went, who should we get? ChatGPT, Ronaldo, number 1.
Number
but
2,
guys,
that DJ.
Number 2 is not that DJ. I don't know where he features. I don't think he features on this list. Well, not in my top 5 anyway. But coming down the list, we've got Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Of course, he's in like many games when it comes to WWE, so we'll probably skip over him. But number 3 is Elon Musk. Now, he's got a big chainsaw that he wields around Congress these days over in the US. I think he would make an interesting character to join the Street Fighter 6 crew. Of course, everyone would like to punch him in the face at some point, wouldn't they? We've got Taylor Swift coming in at the 4th point, so that'd be interesting. Bring a sexy little female in. Spence, that might be one for you.
I'd play her,
and rounding out my top 5, we've got Barack Obama, guys. Now, who would you choose and why? Now, I'm going straight for Elon Musk. The big chainsaw, that would be brilliant going through, wouldn't it?
He definitely seems more like a Mortal Kombat character to me. Elon, doesn't he? He definitely does. I think for me, if we can't have The Rock, which is a shame, because, like a rock bottom as a level 3 would be class.
That'd be sick.
Yeah, it'd be really fucking cool. If we can't have him, I think I just have to go for Barack, get the president beat down on people. That'd be class. You get some executive orders on this. Boom!
would he throw hoops?
Oh, yeah. I reckon he'd do everything that he was doing to, like, kind of look cool back in the day.
I think
he'd
so,
do all
too.
that. Yeah, he'd do all that.
He'd be the second character to have a heal. It's like his level 2 heal would be like Obamacare. And he'd
Yes. Yeah.
Yes. Barack Obama. That would be a brilliant addition to Street Fighter 6. But all joking aside, guys, my obvious choice, because it's the other character that I've played outside Blanca, and Blanca does feature in Street Fighter 6, would be Yun from Street Fighter 3. I'd like some Chinese kung fu skills coming into Street Fighter 6. And of course, we need the Gaijin coming in. Super Art 3, I believe, back in the day with Street Fighter 3. Bringing that to Street Fighter 6. Love to see a bit of Yun.
Oh, God. Yun and Yang, or whatever they are, coming back in would be a fucking nightmare. Those dive kicks, man, gave me fucking nightmares in Street Fighter 4. Like the amount of fucking dive kicks. Yun in there, where he's just like, does that fucking, could just jump and just stop his like air dive. Like,
immediately goes
immediately.
bang, bang.
Yeah, just fucking jumping around everywhere. Nightmare fuel. I'll be shitting my pants if that makes a reality. For somebody who likes a shuriken, it becomes really fucking difficult to deal with because they're always baiting you out so they can fucking wreck your day. But a nice legacy character like that would go a long way. I think for me, looking at it, there's a couple of characters that I think are definitely going to be here. And one for certain is going to be in Season 3, and that's Sagat. Like, Sagat's the low-hanging fruit. It's the same way that, like, Bison was in the last season. This is it. Like, Sagat not being here is wild. And I think fucking Balrog not being here is weird as well. So I could see, if you're talking about legacy characters, I could see those coming back. In terms of, for me, the ones I want, it's actually quite surprising. I mean, I'd fucking pop off for Sagat, of course. The ones I want to see are, I want to see Laura from Street Fighter 5. I really liked her. I thought she was great. Like, when I play Street Fighter 5, if I wasn't playing Ryu, I had a pocket Laura. She was all right, and she's sexy as fuck as well.
Yeah,
but like having another grappler in the game, I think would be quite nice. We've got obviously we got fucking that French bird, Manon, and we got Zangief himself. And I guess you could say maybe Lily's a slight grappler with like she's got like, I guess she's halfway there, but Laura's like a nice mix of like DJ and like a grappler as well. So I think she'd work quite well. Sea Viper is the one I really want.
Oh, great character.
I really want Sea Viper, like really badly. I had a pocket Sea Viper in 4, and she was just fucking sick and so flashy as well, like real flashy. And I think the game could do with a little bit of flash, a little bit of sauce, and she'd be the one to be able to dig it. And yeah, she fucking class. And she didn't come back in 5, I don't think. Did she come back in 5?
Viper wasn't in 5 now.
No. So
I don't think so. I might be wrong.
I didn't follow 5 at all after launch. I think I picked that. I think you picked me up Super Street Fighter 5. I think, Phil, like World Edition or whatever. Championship Edition, I had that. And I don't recall her being there. The last time I remember seeing her was in Street Fighter X Tekken.
Yeah, she
was good in that too.
Yeah.
But I'm going to say, for me, the ones that I would adore more than anything, I think is realistic, is Sagat and Sea Viper. I think if I had to pick 2, those are my ones.
So we're picking 2. I can't really have Barack Obama, can I?
No.
Well, why not? Hey, anything's a possibility these days in fighting games. Nobody thought you'd ever get Snake in Smash.
It's very, very true.
Very well. He's a video game character, though.
True.
At least.
Yes. I'm sure Barack Obama's been in a video game.
I don't know. I'd say you can have Barack, Phil, but why don't you give us a second realistic one?
All right, I'm going to go for Rose, because I had a Pocket Rose when it came to Street Fighter 4, and she was a very flashy character, quite unique. And I would like to see her in it, and sexy as hell as well. Bring her in.
Yeah, man.
Fucking boys, your characters are fucking great. Ones I wouldn't expect from you, because Rose, sick. Street Fighter 5, Davey, I played Laura and Ken. So we basically had the same roster, because Laura was bad as
yeah, she's
hell,
great.
Bro. She's sick, and Sea Viper's bad as hell. For me, I've got like 5 characters I want, man.
Go for it.
I want Balrog and Dudley, the boxers.
Oh, you want both?
I'd want Dudley more than Balrog, but my main in 4 is Balrog.
Gutter trash.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Dudley would be sick to have him back.
Dudley's sick. I think the ones I would gel with most, though, if they came back, and the ones I might actually play, would be Ibuki or Makoto.
Oh, I love Ibuki.
Yeah.
Those are the fucking ones.
I love Ibuki.
They're so
Very
sick.
cool character.
So sick. But then I think I'd gel with freaking Rose and Sea Viper as well. I don't know, man. Sea Viper was so sick.
This is what I'm hoping from Season 3, is that I don't want there being crossovers. Like, it was nice to get Terry and Mai in, right? And it was hype, like I was fucking over the moon with Terry coming in. But I kind of I want just some of the old heads back. I want like some of the ones that are really missing for me that I really think of with Street Fighter. And most of them are here. Apart from Sagat. Sagat's the kind of notable exception at this point. I think like the list that you guys have thrown out here in terms of classic characters would be a fucking dream.
Mate, it's First Strike. Just put the characters. Sean, Q, Poison. Well, Poison's not really in there, but she's there. Freaking Makoto, Ibuki, Hugo. Massive fucking Hugo. As long as any of them before Vega. That's what I think.
I like Vega.
Fuck Vega. And fuck that other... What was that Street Fighter 4 character that was fucking about everywhere that wasn't Vega?
El Fuerte.
El Fuerte, bro. If he comes back, I'm done with that game.
That's a nightmare.
And the oil guy, Hakan.
Hakan. Yeah,
I like Hakan. I fuck with him.
He was sliding everywhere. Slippery little bugger, wasn't he?
I can't imagine anybody losing their shit at Hakan. Like, I can't imagine anyone giving a fuck. He was bottom tier as fucking 4. I can't imagine anyone being like, "Oh my god, Hakan!" Like, I can't see that. Like,
he's back.
Yeah, no one. Like
Let's
Dudley,
fucking go.
let's go, fucking yeah. Like Dudley, people would lose their shit if Dudley got in. Like they really would. There's so much fucking groundswell for Dudley, but I think he's gonna remain on the cutting room floor. I'm afraid for eternity. Even though I do like his oil mechanic.
Yeah, he's gone. But that's our wish list. Do you think they're actually going to change anything fundamental with the game for the balance patch?
Go for it, Phil, if you've got an opinion on this. 100%.
Well, it's only redigested and regurgitated from stuff I'm reading on Twitter, because I'm reading that, Street Fighter and Tekken are kind of opposing kind of situations at the moment, where Tekken is basically chopping and changing everything and going too far in the one direction, and Street Fighter is being very static and not changing things. Now, I feel they both need to get closer together, but not be so extreme from the other. The specifics of what needs to be changed, I'm no expert on Street Fighter 6. I'll leave that one to you boys.
I think the big thing, and the one that's the big question mark, and we'll know very soon, because there's a tournament, there's Evo Japan happening in a couple of weeks, and so with that they'll have a build, they've said there, of the new patch, but they're trying to be a bit more careful than they were for Season 2.
Yeah, it all got leaked.
In that they've only got the new character. They've only got fucking Elena there playable on that build, so that people can't start labbing shit and be like, oh my god, they've changed Donkey Kick to 17 frames as opposed to 23 or whatever. I think the big thing is, are throw loops gone or not? That's one of the big, and it's not a big fundamental change, I know, but the throw loops have become. So I don't mind throw loops. I actually quite like them, right? I really don't have a problem with them. I think it's just another layer on the kind of guessing game. But I know how annoying they are, and I know how annoying it is to be stuck in a throw loop and then to finally pick an option to get out, and then that's the time they fucking backdashed off and punish you for it, right? It's the worst feeling in the world. I think that's something that they're probably going to address. I imagine this will be the death of throw loops. Or if not, they'll do something to be able to increase the throw time, like countering or something like that, to make it not as effective as it is currently. It's got to be something. When it comes to actual mechanics, though, like thinking back to Street Fighter 4, they introduced first off, they introduced a second Ultra for everyone. That was the first thing they did for Super, if I remember rightly. And then for Ultra, they introduced Red Focus. Right, which fundamentally changed that game, right? It made it so much different than it was. Street Fighter 5, they added a second V trigger for everyone. I know that, but I don't know what else they did. I think they just added did something else with V triggers that you could do, and to really try and mix it up and make it so that you can change how that character kind of operates. I honestly don't have a fucking clue what they could do here with Street Fighter 6. I know that's like a proper cop-out, but there's nothing here that screams that it needs an overhaul.
Yeah.
In my mind. And I think that's what makes it quite difficult. Like Street Fighter 4, you could see how focus could be improved and kind of taken in a different way and make it a little bit more extreme, right? And that kind of, it made sense. And Street Fighter 5, Jesus Christ, it definitely needed the extra V triggers and shit. But here, I think they got the mix really well done, like in terms of like the way the core mechanics all work and the way the drive system all works with everything. I think we're kind of good. Like, I really think we're kind of good. The only thing that you could potentially look to do is they could take, I don't think this is likely, but this is an option, just shooting off my dome here, is they could take a leaf out of Fatal Fury's book, and they could have it so that you could cancel a move, like say like a Shuriken, cancel that into like an EX version after the fact to create more juggles. So I'm thinking like with Ryu, you could then use like 2 bars after it to do like a drive rush out of something. So like say for example I hit someone with a Hadouken, I could drive rush after that Hadouken. So when it hits on impact, I can then get a full combo. Right, like that would fundamentally change things. Or like if you think of if you're Kami and you did like your fucking Shuriken, they get hit up into the air. You could cancel from that and go into like your spinny thing and hit them in the air a couple of times. Yeah. Like something like that, I think would be a nice little addition to make it a little bit deeper and give you something else to do with your drive gauge. I don't think it's necessary, but it's those kind of fundamental changes that Capcom will be looking at for Season 3, like something that big, like they always have done in the past. That's the only thing I can think of off the top of my dome. I don't know what ideas you got, Spence.
Oh, man, I'm honestly scraping the barrel as well, because Street Fighter 6, we've said it when it came out, it's probably the best Street Fighter, at least for us. It's the most polished by far. Easily the most polished. So it's really fucking hard to say. I would like selectable supers again. Like in Third Strike and 4 and 5. Well, 3 and 4 mainly. 3 especially. Everyone had 3. It was nuts. But I understand. I feel like it'd be a lot more work to do that for everyone in Street Fighter 6. But I'm sure they could do it. I don't know, man. I think we're going to get a new drive option, I think. Because what did we get? The drive push last time?
Yeah. And it was already there, wasn't it? But they improved it, didn't they? They made it better.
Yeah, they made it, you can actually use it. Where it was terrible before. I really don't know. I'd like to see some sort of maybe a very costly, but what if you did a drive impact and it was dash cancelable, like a focus attack is? But it cost bar or something. Or maybe, I guess drive impact costs 2 bars anyway, so you're already spending 2 bars to do nothing.
Yeah. But
that could be a mix-up tool. I really don't know. They're smarter people than me over there, especially for Street Fighter. God knows.
I think what makes it so tough is exactly what you just said, though, in terms of that it's fine.
It's really good.
Like, it's just really good. So if there was issues with it, you could be like, yeah, like the obvious one, like throw loops, obviously. But if there was like glaring issues, then you could be like, right, well, this system feels a little bit underbaked, or this could do with a bit of like rubbing, a bit of massaging. But everything there just works absolutely perfect. So it's a hard thing to then think of what do you improve, other than, I wish I could cancel this move into a different move. That's just balance stuff. Then at that point, that's nothing fundamental.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll tell you what I want to see: more costumes. That's what I want to see.
Nice.
Because we have 1 per character at the minute. 1. And if you play Street Fighter 4, go back to Street Fighter 4 and count the costumes.
Go to 5, bro. 5 was insane with costumes all the time.
Where are they? I want them. Oh, it's free fucking money, Capcom. I'll buy them.
Yeah.
You thought themes were free money. This is free fucking money.
Well, they made that stupid decision, didn't they, to put it all on avatars. So I could buy a Mutant Ninja Turtles fucking outfit for my avatar that I don't ever run around the battle arena for. Like, why do that when you could have put that suit on fucking Zangief? Why couldn't I dress him up like Splinter? That would be cool. Like, this one, I don't understand it. It doesn't make any fucking sense to me whatsoever, mate.
Yeah, I want to see, that's what I want to see. In Season 3, I want to see costumes. Like you said, get rid of the throw loops as best you can. Because I quite like them as well. I'm fine with them. But when you're watching, like, Grand Finals, Game 5, and it ends because someone got grabbed 6 times in a row, it's a bit like, it's a bit naff. So maybe I'd like a drive get-up. If you like fucking tech.
Like a roll out or something.
Maybe, but then I feel like that's just too strong for any option. Unless it's like throw exclusive. When you get thrown, you get to tech it with the drive impact button.
Maybe, and then you could pick which way you go, and it costs like 2 or 3 bars to be able to do. That
could be an option, and that would help with throw loops. But if you roll through them and they just turn around and grab you and back throw you back in the corner, it's
You're
like,
back
fuck.
yeah, that sucks.
Fuck's sake. Because what if they back off to wait for it and you've done it and then they're like, oh, get back in.
Yeah.
There's issues that they'll work out, not me. I ain't doing shit. But I'll use whatever they come up with. But I want to see costumes, less throw loops, but keep them in because they're actually quite good. And I forgot whatever one already was. Oh, and detach from World Tour. So freaking tied into World Tour every time. Fuck off. No one cares. Give us something else.
Yeah, couldn't agree more, mate. Still haven't finished World Tour. Never will. Got my platty. Never bothering with it. Ever again. But I eagerly anticipate June 5th. I cannot wait to see what they do. It's always exciting whenever it's big balance time. It fundamentally changed Ryu on the last season. See what they can cook up this time, Capcom. Give me some more juice for my boy. He's only getting second place at Capcom fighting game tournaments this time now. Get him to number 1. Get in there. We need more young prodigies to be picking up Ryu again. That's what we need. Audience, if you've got any opinions, any thoughts about what Street Fighter could do in the next balance patch, or about who is going to be there as the new characters, let us know. Write into the email ps3trust@gmail.com, or hit us up on any of the socials, which are all included in the description of the show. Well, lads, that brings episode 113 to a close. It's been an absolute honour, a privilege to be back with both of you today. Really enjoyed coming back, being the three of us, the Holy Trinity. It's been a goddamn good time. Audience, if you agree, there's a couple of ways you can let us know about it. First, go onto your podcast service of choice. Make sure you follow us if you're not already. And rate the show. We are still sitting at 29 reviews on Spotify. Apple's going up. I don't care about Apple. Don't care. All about Spotify. So if you're sitting there and you're listening on your Apple podcast app, just download Spotify like the rest of the fucking world. Listen to a couple of shows so you can rate it. Put a 5-star on it. Then you can fuck off back to Apple for all I care. You can listen to it wherever you like. Make sure you go on and just put a rating on Spotify, please. I don't care what our rating is on Good Bubble or Good Podcast HQ. Any of these fucking little random shitty apps. I don't care. I only check Spotify. That's all I care about. So go on there and do it for us, please. Really, really would appreciate it. If you're watching along, you're on YouTube, then hi. Then you can make sure that you put a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you're not already. That really does help. And leave any thoughts and opinions in the comment section. Phil looks after that. So if you are nasty, Phil seems to be going through there with a fucking shotgun. He's
Look
just
out.
Yeah, anyone gets the fucking smoke.
I love the nasty ones. It really excites me. So please be as critical as you can be within the YouTube comments. We won't take it personally, but I hope you do on my reply.
Class, mate. Class. Well, as I said, it's been a great old time with you, with yourselves. Listeners, this is where we depart. We'll see you again in 2 weeks' time. I have been Davey.
I've been Phil.
And I've been Spencer.
Take care, guys.
Peace.
In PS We Trust is hosted by Davey, Phil, and Spencer. You can write into the show via our email, pswetrust@gmail.com. Our Twitter is @InPSWeTrust. To find each of us online, follow our Twitters, @SSJDavey, @PhilipHoy, @SpenPie_. Thank you for listening. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other. See ya.